is hurt. That's our show for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Rich Ackerman for NBA TV's NBA Action. We'll see you next week.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
Low prices, more choices on the world's best brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich.
Another evening of baseball in Southern California. The Cubs and Padres finish off their three-game series at Petco Park. Jason Marquis facing Chris Young. You can see all the action right here tonight on Comcast Sportsnet. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Verizon Wireless Cubs pregame live. Alongside the all-star closer, Dan Plesac, I'm Mark Shanowski. The Cubs looking to snap a three-game losing streak tonight, and Lou Piniella is clearly frustrated with all these one-run losses. Dan, Lou said after last night's game, it's not early anymore. We've played about 25% of the schedule, and he called out 4 or 5 guys saying, you got to step up your production. You're not getting it done.
Well, I mean, you look at where the Cubs are at this point of the season, going into tonight's game, 20-24. This is a better team on paper that they've played. They've had a difficulty. It's been well documented in close games, particularly one-run games. It happened again last night. They've done a good job of getting guys on, getting them over, but have been very poor, particularly in the back third of the game, in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, getting that big hit. They had David Wells on the ropes last night. Here's the bases loaded, 1-out situation, a 3-ball, 1-strike count. You have the pitcher really in a tight spot. And the Cubs, it's been kind of a season-long theme. And unless it stops, I think you're going to continue to see this team go on some mini streaks where they win a couple, but they're not going to be able to sustain any kind of a long winning streak. And they're getting to the point now where they're really backing themselves into a corner, and they're going to need to pick this up really quick. It's not going to get any easier because going from San Diego, they're going to Dodger Stadium to play the Dodgers, and they have a very good pitching staff.
You played a lot of good teams over your career. Teams that have those magical seasons usually have a great record in one-run games. So far, the Cubs have a terrible record in one-run games. It's because they can't get the key hit with guys in scoring position, and the manager really is trying to figure out what he can do to improve that.
I think it boils down, Mark, to 2 things, 2 big keys. 1, not being able to deliver that big hit when you need it, and 2, that is also, I think, a correlation of the struggles that the bullpen has had. There have been some leads that the Cubs have had in the 7th and 8th inning, haven't been able to hold those leads, and another problem that they've had is scoring when the games are tied or extra inning games. They've lost a couple of extra inning games at home, and you are really at an advantage being the home team playing in an extra inning game, and they haven't been able to take advantage of that. So up to this point, it needs to turn around, and it needs to turn around really quick.
Certainly can't complain about the starting pitching. Sean Marshall, very effective in his first start since being recalled from AAA Iowa. He only gave up 4 hits last night, struck out 8, but winds up getting a 2-1 loss because of one mistake, the home run to Kuzminoff.
To Kuzminoff, a changeup, on a changeup pitch, you'd like to have that ball down and away. This ball kind of stayed up, floated over the outer third of the plate, right back in towards home plate, kind of right into the hitting speed area right there. And it's unfortunate, but when you're going through one of these spells that the Cubs are going through right now, when they hit, they're scoring runs, and the pitching isn't as solid. When they get a well-pitched game out of a starter, like they did last night from Sean Marshall, they're not able to get anything put together. And it's unfortunate because they had David Wells on the ropes a couple of times and just were not able to get that big hit.
Let's talk more about Sean Marshall. Of course, folks saw him last year pitching with the Cubs, but then he had some arm problems, barely got into Cactus League play, had to start the season in the minors, but he looked like he was getting more batters to swing and miss last night.
He actually threw the ball very well last night, particularly his first start of the season at the major league level. Had a few starts down in the minor leagues, and his numbers were okay in the minor leagues. But one of the things he was able to do is change speed. So you see a big, slow 70-mile-an-hour curveball. And one of the things he has going for him, he's a big, tall kid. He's a lanky guy, and he does throw the ball very well on a downhill plane. Here you see a good breaking ball that he stayed on top of and got some good down break on this, not necessarily a cross break. And one of the things, you look at this team right now and you see 20-24, and where would they be right now without the starting pitching? The starting pitching up to this point has really carried this team. They need the bullpen in these bats to start picking it up and pick it up real quick.
We don't even want to think about where they'd be without that great starting pitching. got to get Carlos Zambrano back on track as well. We talked about Lou Piniella not very optimistic about the state of the Cubs right now in his post-game comments. Let's see if his mood has improved after a good night's sleep. Here's Lou before the game.
We talked a little bit about it.
You look at a loss.
Huh?
You look at a loss, like you're at a loss.
I'm not at a loss. No, I mean, we've just got to keep trying to find. I was looking at this thing. We've been looking at this computer for an afternoon, trying to figure out. You know, we played 44 ball games. In these 44 ball games, in 17 of these 44 ball games, we scored 6 runs. 6 runs or more. And in 27 of these 44 ball games, we scored less than 3 runs.
Averaged.
Average, yeah. 2.9 runs a game. And I mean, there's your answer. I mean, we've got to get more consistent scoring runs. It's hard to win with 3 runs a game. Any team. And this is why we'll try this. Actually, all we've done with this lineup here is flip-flop two and DeRosa and Terrio. Well, we'll see how it works. But we've got to get more consistent scoring runs. Because you look at all these things and batting average, run differential. Yeah, I mean, it's a different story. It paints 2 stories. And we got to get a little more efficient in this.
Because your run differential's good.
Well, we're 25. We should be above 500 with a 25 run differential. Should be above 500.
All your years in baseball, what does something like that typically mean about a team?
I don't know that. If you score more runs than your opposition, you should win more games. I mean that really, I'm serious. I'm not really laughing, believe me. But but when you look at just too many games where we've scored 3 or less. And if you look at the record of teams around baseball, when they score 3 or less, it's not going to be very good. I mean, look, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Just forget. Let's get a different subject. Talk about some bikinis on the beach or something. You know, surfers on La Jolla. Anything that you all want to talk about. Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh, indeed. It sounds like Sweet Lou did some sightseeing with his off time.
I think what you're seeing right now is a manager that is thoroughly frustrated. You look at the personnel that was brought in the offseason, and you look at the personnel coming back from last year's team. You're talking about a healthy Derek Lee, Aramis Ramirez, upgrades to the starting rotation. Lily and Marquis have been terrific, and it just doesn't add up. The big bad Alfonso Soriano, and you know, you get to a point, and you try not to point fingers, but they're going to have to get a lot more productivity out of Alfonso Soriano. We're talking getting towards the back end of the month of May. He has 9 runs batted in with 2 home runs. They're going to need some more productivity. They're going to need some more productivity and better results out of that bullpen, particularly Howry and Air. Ryan Dempster has done a fine job in the 9th inning, but until they get all of these pieces together, you can win by a couple of ways. You can do things and execute the right way, or you're going to have to outslug some people, and right now they're not doing enough of both. They're getting guys on, getting them over, not getting them in. They're kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde team. They're going to break out. You have a couple of games against the White Sox, a really good pitching staff. You know, we're able to tack on some runs off a good pitcher like Javier Vasquez. They had David Wells on the ropes last night, weren't able to capitalize, and I think until you start getting to see some consistency offensively and executing in close games, that is what has really hurt this team. Execution, scoring runs in the back third of the game, and getting some consistent, good relief pitching out of your key components, Howry and Air, when you do have leads.
Well, Lou Piniella signed on for 3 years thinking that the Cubs could be a contender right away with all the money they spent in the offseason. But when you listen to him right now, it sounds like he'd rather be on the golf course or sitting on his front porch back in Tampa.
Beach.
Yeah, or cruising the beach, I guess. But what is his state of mind right now? Does he think he can get the job done here? Because it seems like there's doubt creeping into the manager's mind as well.
I don't think it's doubt. I think what you're seeing is frustration. When you look at this team on paper and you see what you have and you look at the matchups every night that you're playing, and I you know you could put Carlos Zambrano into this mix also. You win the first 2 games of the Crosstown Classic. Looks like it's really a favorable matchup for the Cubs. A young pitcher pitching predominantly out of the bullpen, and Nassett has a good day, baffled the Cub hitters. Carlos Zambrano, didn't pitch very well, and they really haven't gone 2 or 3 turns through this rotation, and everybody firing on all cylinders. Marquis and Lilly have been dynamite. They have been above and beyond, I think, what the Cubs expected, but I think you're starting to see Carlos Zambrano is desperately missing that one guy in that starting rotation, that shutdown guy when you can close a team out and possibly sweep, or you go into a big series on a West Coast trip, you're going to Dodger Stadium over the weekend, and you don't care who you're matching up with because you've got your ace, Carlos Zambrano. He needs to start pitching like the ace of this pitching staff.
And it's important to point out the Cubs aren't trying to chase down the 27 Yankees or the 84 Tigers. The Brewers are in first place, only 6.5 out.
And it's unfortunate because the last week to 10 days, the Milwaukee Brewers have stumbled.
Yeah.
They've come back to the pack. This divisional race is far from over. You're talking this probably is the one division in baseball that if you can get to the All-Star break somewhere around the 500 mark and hit a nice stretch and maybe win somewhere around that 15 out of 20, and it's difficult to do, but somebody in this division is going to get hot at some point, and just hope that the Cubs aren't too far back or they're the team that does get hot.
And Cub fans don't want to hear this, but the Cardinals just finished off a sweep of Pittsburgh. Don't write St. Louis off just yet. Coming up next, we'll see what Lou has done to the lineup for tonight's series finale. We'll also take a closer look at tonight's starting pitchers. Dan mentioned Alfonso Soriano has to get hot. Well, there he is working on his stroke in the batting cage. He stole a base the other night, so maybe his legs are feeling better. Look for a big game from Soriano in the series finale tonight.
You never know who's going to drop by on Chicago Tribune Live. Vince Young, Drew Brees, Alfonso Soriano.
I picked this team because I want to win.
Evander Holyfield, Gale Sayers, Steve Dahl.
I'm kind of glad that the Sox won the World Series. It takes some pressure off of me as being one of the highlights.
Adrian McCoy, Don King.
I count it down. Chicago is.
Chicago Tribune Live, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
All new mowers look good, but Saturday morning is no time to find out your new mower won't start. You have things to do. A lawnmower is only as good as the engine that powers it.
Hey, mister.
If you don't have a Briggs & Stratton, you don't know what you have. Briggs & Stratton, the power within.
One new hand-tossed pizza from Pizza Hut?
Quick in here. Hey.
Oh, what a day.
Are you still upset that Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed pizza tastes better than yours?
It's like I can smell it everywhere.
Pizza Hut's new and improved hand-tossed style pizza has a new, more flavorful crust. No wonder it beat Papa John's and Domino's in a national taste test. Get any size, any toppings for just $10.99. Want more taste? Get it from Pizza Hut, America's favorite pizza. Now online.
Hi, can I help you?
I'm thinking about this grill. We're having a big Memorial Day barbecue.
Well, today, if you spend $299 or more on your Lowe's consumer credit card, you can ask for no monthly payments for 12 months.
I could use this grill cover, too.
Pay next year.
And this paint? This flag? This big bird?
That, too.
Welcome, Matt.
Anything from anywhere in the store. Pay next year. Again, if you use your Lowe's credit card.
What's all this?
We don't have to pay for a whole year if we use this.
I'll get another cart.
Save now at Lowe's Memorial Day event. Pay later if you spend $299 or more and use your Lowe's credit card.
Every night, only one show brings you closer to the teams that matter most. Land Rover Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet. Highlights of the games you care about. Breaking news that has Chicago talking. Interviews with the biggest names. And the time to tell in-depth stories. If you're a fan of Chicago sports, then this is your show. Land Rover Sports Night. After the game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Well, Lupinella talked about possible lineup changes, but I don't think we're going to be seeing Hank White playing first base anytime soon. Henry Blanco just helping out during infield practice. Cubs getting ready to take on the San Diego Padres. Welcome back to Verizon Wireless Cubs pregame live. We'll take a look at today's pitching matchup brought to us by IPA. Two right-handers with earned run averages under 3. Now that's something you don't see every day. ERAs under 3, back like the good old days. So about Jason Marquis, he had a terrific start against the Padres back in April. He allowed a run on 3 hits and a 12-4 victory. Lifetime, he's 3-2 against the Pods with a 3.99 earned run average over 6 games. Your thoughts on Marquis and what he's been able to do this year, Dan?
Well, this is going to be the story of the point guard in the center, Jason Marquis, 6 foot in high heels.
Okay. I hope he's not wearing high heels.
I hope he won't be wearing high heels tonight. But the Padres starter, 6'10", 6'10", 275 pounds. This is really a good matchup. You can make a case right now. Jason Marquis may be the Cubs' best starting pitcher. He has really turned it around from a not a very good second half with St. Louis last year. When he's throwing well, his last couple of starts, he struggled. Gotten the ball up a little bit, run himself into counts, throwing a lot of fastballs. If he's successful tonight, you'll know very early on if he's inducing a lot of ground balls, mixing in his off-speed pitches. He cannot afford to pitch throwing 75 to 80% fastballs. If he's mixing in, there you see that terrific changeup. He needs to use his changeup, use his off-speed pitches to set up his fastball. And on the other hand, San Diego Padres pitcher Chris Young, a big, tall, 6'10", 270-pound plus, doesn't throw as hard as you would look. You would imagine that a guy this big and this strong would be a mid-90s thrower. He pitches in the 88 to 91 mile-hour range, but he has a very good changeup, a really, really good changeup. So it's very important for this Cub team to make sure that you swing at strikes.
And unfortunately, Chris Young is almost unbeatable at home, a .44 earned run average at Petco Park. That's what happens when you're struggling. You face a guy who never loses in his home ballpark. Coming up after a break, we'll give you Lupinella's starting lineup. We'll also hear from Derek Lee, get his thoughts on the recent mini slump. Stay with us. Our Just for Men Stay in the Game highlight comes from Mark DeRosa. 2 outs in the 9th inning, Cubs down 2-1. DeRosa crushes the Trevor Hoffman pitch off the wall for a triple, his 4th straight hit of the night. Stay in the game with Just for Men hair color.
Single again. Will I still look eligible with gray hair? Is that all people will see? How do you make a clean break?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Dating again is easier than I thought. And you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
All new mowers look good, but Saturday morning is no time to find out your new mower won't start. You have things to do. A lawnmower is only as good as the engine that powers it.
Hey, mister.
If you don't have a Briggs & Stratton, you don't know what you have. Briggs & Stratton, the power within.
So see you there.
Don't keep me waiting.
Are our SUVs as much fun as our bikes?
What took you so long?
You cheated.
Did not.
The 2007 Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Did not.
Did too.
It's going to be a great ride. Now, get 0% financing on all Suzuki SUVs.
Even if you're just running to the corner, you might think you don't need to bother with wearing a safety belt. But you're still sending a message to the police you might not want to send. Even on a short drive, you will be pulled over and you will get a ticket, guaranteed. Click it or ticket.
QC Auto Service Centers, serving the Quad City area for over 30 years.
Hi, this is Dan Elias for QC Auto Service Centers. Let's talk brakes. Do you have to stomp on your brakes to stop?
Ensure your family's safety by driving into any one of our 3 QC Auto Service Centers. Our techs will inspect your vehicle's brakes free. We'll install lifetime guaranteed original equipment, brake pads, and shoes.
QC Auto Centers with 3 convenient locations: Bettendorf, Davenport, and Moline, keeping you on the road.
We're closing in on game time in San Diego. There's Derek Lee getting ready to go. He needs in his normal number 3 spot in the batting order. And yes, he's playing first base. Henry Blanco will start the night on the bench. Welcome back to Verizon Wireless Cubs pregame live. Lou Piniella is still looking for more consistent production from that everyday lineup. The players know the time for excuses is over. Here's Derek Lee on the struggles the Cubs have been experiencing.
We're not getting the big hit, and it's kind of when you start getting the big hits, it creates momentum, kind of becomes contagious, and we just haven't consistently done it. You know, and the opposite happens. When you don't get the big hit, it kind of pulls you down a little bit, and you start pressing a little more. So we just need to turn it around and, you know, just build confidence in that area.
Because the pitching's been so good.
Pitching's been great. Pitching's been great. I still feel good about this team. You know, track records speak for themselves, and I believe in them. And I think this team is going to hit. I think we're going to score runs. So the way our pitching's been, I think our defense has been better than expected. And overall, we played decent. Obviously, we haven't played great. We haven't played good enough to win a lot of these games, but I feel like we're right there. We're kind of trying to just get over that last hump.
And here's the lineup that will face Chris Young tonight. Alfonso Soriano leading off in left field, followed by Mark DeRosa and Derek Lee. Aramis Ramirez bats cleanup. Then it's Cliff Floyd, Michael Barrett, Jock Jones, Ryan Theriot at shortstop tonight, and Jason Marquis, the pitcher, who also can swing the bat just a little bit. The changes Lou Piniella talked about, moving Mark DeRosa up to second. He had 4 hits last night. I guess they want to get him up towards the top of the order.
Well, DeRosa really started up the season very well. He's been kind of streaky. Yeah. The first couple of weeks of the season, swung the bat very well. Really was the main power source for this team the first week to 10 days of the season. Kind of went through a little bit of a period where he kind of cooled off a little bit, had some problems with his back, and that held him up for a couple of days. Had a really good night last night. I think what Lou Piniella is trying to do right now is find any type of combination that can get something going, get some guys on base for the meat part of that order, Ramirez, Lee, and Cliff Floyd. And if they are on base, they've got to do a much better job driving those runs in.
And Ryan Theriot got up to such a great start this season, has been in and out of the lineup. He's batting 8th tonight against the right-handed pitcher. Kind of surprised to see him move so far down? Well,
Cesar Torres has had a very difficult time swinging the bat. And in a National League game, when your 8-hole hitter's not swinging the bat very well, you combine that with a pitcher spot. Not necessarily the case. Jason Marquis, one of the best hitting pitchers.
Bet Marquis ain't.
Well, that's you're not making me the manager now. But I think you really have to tip your hat to Ryan Theriot. You know, up until this point of the season, he's played just about every position in the field. He's hit anywhere from, you know, at the top of the order, the 2-hole, the 7-hole, the 8-hole. He's really been a pleasant surprise. And I think what Lou Piniella is trying to do is find some way to keep him in the lineup. He brings a lot to this ball club.
And Cliff Floyd is batting 5th tonight, the pride of the South Suburbs. And obviously, I know Lou Piniella really likes this guy. He wants him to get red hot and start mashing some home runs.
Really, this lineup needs to start hitting. It's a tough place when you go on that West Coast trip. You know, pitcher-friendly ballpark, Petco, and going to Dodger Stadium over the weekend. But this is a team, this middle part of the order needs to start doing some damage, and doing some damage in the middle part, in the back third of the games. They really have to do a better job of that. If the starting pitching can maintain this pace that it's at right now and get some productivity out of Aaron Howry and get the middle part of this order knocking in some runs, I think you'll start to see this team not only score a little bit more consistently, but also starting to string some streaks where they'll win 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6.
You mentioned you didn't want to be the manager, but I'll ask you a question that only Lou Piniella could answer. How come we haven't seen Angel Pagan in this series? His on-base percentage is over 400, had a good series against the White Sox.
I think what he's trying to do, that's a terrific question, is find a matchup, find some way to get this offense going. If you go back to last night, you know, there was a key component that kind of got lost in the shuffle, and Bob Brenly touched on this during the game. The Cubs had a situation last night where Alfonso Soriano had a bloop base hit to right field. The Cubs were down 2-1 in the 8th inning. Angel Pagan came up, did a great job letting him get a couple of pitches to steal a base, get into scoring position. Soriano did not run, put Pagan in a hole, no balls, 2 strikes. And at 2 strikes, all bets are off. You know, swung at a borderline pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3. But I think the idea was right. And And one of the things that Soriano has to do a lot better job of getting on base, using that speed to steal bases and steal meaningful bases. That was a big base hit that he was able to get last night, and it would have put a lot more pressure on that Padre pitcher if he was able to steal on the first or second pitch and not put your hitter in a hole to take 2 pitches before you decide to run.
Jock Jones again in center field tonight. The Padres hit 4 homers in the series opener against Rich Hill. Hill has struggled a bit lately. They didn't do anything against Sean Marshall last night except for that 2-run homer by Kevin Kuzminoff. And tonight they get a look at a right-hander, Jason Marquis. Bud Black going with the same lineup that won the first 2 games. Hopefully Kuzminoff is done hitting homers. Same thing with Mike Cameron, who had 2 in the series opener. This lineup on paper doesn't look all that
It's not going to scare you, but I tell you what, the number 4-hole hitter, Adrian Gonzalez, one of the best young left-handed hitters in the National League right now. He has really started to blossom, and he is the main focus of this attack for the Padres offensively. So it'll be very important tonight for Jason Marquis to really pitch him very tough. He's a very good hitter.
And Termel Sledge, one of the best names in baseball, but not the production to match, right?
That's, well, you know what, at least he's got the good name.
Sledgehammer. Coming up next, we'll get Dan's keys to the game and then take you out to San Diego. The Padres are 14-8 so far this season. Hopefully the Cubs get a win in the series finale.
Now pick any combination of 5 Arby's favorites for $5.95 every day. Like the Arby's Melt, curly fries, and a Jamocha shake. An everyday deal so great, it'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
You never know who's going to drop by on Chicago Tribune Live. Vince Young, Drew Brees, Alfonso Soriano.
I picked this team because I want to win.
Evander Holyfield, Dale Sayers, Steve Dahl.
I'm kind of glad that the Sox won the World Series. It takes some pressure off of me as being one of the highlights.
Adrian McCoy, Don King.
I count it down. Chicago is.
Chicago Tribune Live, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
If you haven't been to a Chicago Fire game at Toyota Park at 71st and Harlem, you don't know what you're missing. On Sunday, May 27th at 4 p.m., the Fire take on Real Salt Lake. This is your chance to see teenage phenom Freddie Adu as he makes his first trip to Chicago with his new team. That's Sunday, May 27th at 4. Call 888-MLS-FIRE or visit chicago-fire.com to get tickets today.
Hey, Chicagoland, looking for a career change? International Profit Associates is the nation's leader in management consulting for small and medium-sized companies. IPA had another winning year and is now hiring appointment setters and inside sales representatives. IPA employees are building careers. The 600 employees at the Northwest Suburban office love working at IPA because of unlimited income potential. Create your own promotion. Call IPA at 800-531-2542, weekdays between 7 and 5. Tell them you're looking for a change.
Think you have the perfect name for the Comcast Sportsnet fans' best friend dog? Well, here's your chance to prove it. Log on to ComcastSportsnet.com and submit your idea for the Comcast Sportsnet Name the Mascot contest. The top 3 names will be announced during Comcast Sportsnet's coverage of Round 2 of the Crosstown Showdown beginning June 22nd. You can walk away with a Comcast Sportsnet prize pack. Submit your mascot name today by logging on to ComcastSportsnet.com, our fans' best friend online.
Breaking news, interviews, and more time to tell in-depth stories. It's all on Sports Night. Every night only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
We're hitting 294 out of the 1 hole, 295 out of the 2 hole, 341 out of the 3 hole, 292 out of the 4 hole, 253 out of the 5, 276, 196, and 248, and it favors very well with the rest of the league. And you keep looking and looking, and finally, where we need to do is get more consistent in more games, driving, scoring more runs. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. I mean, but you got to find it somewhere, Ron.
So after Lou went to the beach to check out the bikinis, he was on his computer with a whole bunch of numbers being spewed out. Hopefully that translates into a Cubs victory tonight. Dan, you got any of those numbers in your Lexus keys to the game?
Well, I don't know if we're going to go numbers, but I tell you, the couple of big keys, I think, is to lay off Chris Young. Pitches up in the strike zone. He's a big, tall guy, 6'10", 270 pounds, has a good changeup. Lay off the high fastballs. He pitches up in the strike zone, then throws that changeup, and get Jason Marquis back on track. His last couple of starts have been a little bit rocky. You'll know if he's pitching well early on, if he's inducing a lot of ground balls in early contact.
And this trip doesn't get any easier, as you mentioned, on to L.A. Important to get a win tonight.
Oh, there's no question about that. That's what made, in my opinion, the getaway day, the last game of the Crosstown Classic, a very favorable matchup for the Cubs. Your ace, Carlos Zambrano, going almost against an emergency starter for the White Sox. It's games like this that this team has let slip away. They can't continue to do this. This is a very tough stretch for this team that started in Philadelphia, New York, then this homestand. They got to get back home and start playing well.
Cubs looking for a strong pitching performance from Jason Marquis tonight. That's all the time we have for now. For Dan and the entire crew, thanks for watching Verizon Wireless Cubs pregame live. Len and Bob are up next with the call from San Diego. Enjoy the game here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Jason Marquis takes the mound tonight, holding opponents to a mere 194 average. This season, he's contributed with his arm and his bat as well. Tonight, the Cubs are California Dreamin'. Next. Sweet batter, batter, sweet batter, batter, sweet batter, sweet batter, batter, sweet batter, batter, sweet batter, sweet batter, sweet batter, sweet batter. It's overcast, a bit cool, but a very comfortable night for Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. We're in San Diego, California. Been a rough series offensively for the Cubs. They've played at just 2 runs, but they'll try to bust out of it and end a 3-game skid tonight against the Padres. Welcome to Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. It's been a struggle for the Cubs. They've now dropped 10 of their last 15. The good news here is that everybody else in the division is struggling as of late.
Yeah, if you're going to struggle in the early part of the season, it's good to be in the Central Division. The Brewers are the only team that have a winning record at home. None of the ball clubs in the Central has a 500 or better record on the road. Only the Brewers better than 500 at home.
Everybody's trying to figure out what's going on with the Cubs offense. Let's listen in on Lou Piniella. He crunched the numbers before the ball game today.
In these 44 ball games, in 17 of these 44 ball games, we scored 6 runs or more. And in 27 of these 44 ball games, we scored less than 3 runs. Average, yeah. 2.9 runs a game. And I mean, there's your answer. I mean, we've got to get more consistent scoring runs.
Well, that's the answer that every manager's been looking for a long time in this game, is how do you get that consistent offense? And unfortunately, the Cubs haven't been able to do that.
Let's talk about pitching tonight. Jason Marquis and Chris Young should be a good one.
Should be a good one. Chris Young has not allowed a home run in his last 4 starts. He's been very good here at Petco Park this year. 2-1 record with an 0.44 ERA at home. Jason Marquis has probably been the most consistent of all the Cubs starters. We know if he keeps the ball down, he'll be effective.
He looks for his 6th straight win. Alfonso Soriano will lead it off when we come back. The Cubs and the Padres from San Diego.
Ricky, hey, for the Go Green sales event, we want you to race over a hot bed of coals wearing this.
I don't think so.
You're right. Terrible idea. You're fired. Lots of other great ideas.
The Kawasaki Go Green sales event is on. Save big with low payments on new Kawasaki vehicles. See your dealer today.
When the subject is trucks,
you've got to know how to work it. Quad City Spring is all over that. When you need organizing systems for pickups and vans, and Adrian Steel custom setups are your mandatory upgrades, Quad City Spring gets the call. Ladder racks, toolboxes, towing, and truck accessories, we've got you covered. When the subject is trucks, Quad City Spring knows how you want to get it done. Got a truck? Work it, baby. Quad City Spring, 34th Street and River Drive, Moline.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Chevy. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Your local area Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Ricoh, how well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit. And by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit Southwest.com.
Petco Park in San Diego. The Cubs starting the night tied for second in the Central, 6.5 back of idle Milwaukee. The Brewers, in fact, arrived here late last night. They bust down from Los Angeles. So they had an off day today. Saw a few members of the Brewers traveling party here in the ballpark. Maybe scouting out the Padres as they'll play tomorrow night. But first things first, the Cubs try to get out of here with a win before they head up the coast to Los Angeles. Cubs Southwest starting lineup. The big switch today, you've got DeRosa batting second for the third time this year. Ryan Terrio's in there playing short and hitting eighth as Lou continues to look for that right combination.
He's trying to find the right mix. Take a look at the Padres. They found a mix they like. This is the same lineup we've seen in the first two games of this series. Sledge, Cameron, and Cruz across the outfield. Kuzmanoff at third base. Khalil Green at short. Marcus Giles at second base. Adrian Gonzalez, by far the biggest offensive threat in this Padres lineup over at first base. Josh Bard will be doing the catching for 6'10" right-hander Chris Young. Making his 10th start of the season. You get a look at his numbers on the year. He's held right-handers to a 188 batting average, as I mentioned before. Has not allowed a home run in his last 4 starts. 26 total innings.
Set the weather for you, 63 degrees. Yeah, still gray for May. It was sunny this afternoon, but the sun is long gone. So sweatshirt weather tonight. A couple of former Texas Rangers doing battle, a swing and a miss as we started.
That's a pitch you're probably going to see a lot of from Chris Young tonight. He likes to throw that four-seam fastball up above the letters. So enticing to swing at, very tough to catch up to.
A tall right-hander comes back, and just like that, 2 strikes on Soriano. The Cubs have dropped 3 in a row. The Padres have won 3 straight, 5 of 6, 7 of 9. They're a half game behind the Dodgers, so if they can win tonight, they'll have the same record as Los Angeles going into the weekend. Soriano strikes out. By the way, for Alfonso, his 1,000th career game here tonight.
Young already falling into that familiar pattern, that high fastball up above the letters. He only tops out at about 90 miles an hour. Will pitch comfortably at 87, 88, but when you throw it up there, it's tough to catch up to.
So we saw number 33 behind the mound for David Wells last night, 32 for Chris Young tonight.
Apparently the grounds crew determines who the starting pitcher is going to be on a given night. They put their number out there, and then that guy has to go pitch.
That's it. You know, he turns 28 tomorrow, and he faces Mark DeRosa, who had a huge game last night. 4 for 4, a home run shy of the cycle, tied a career high with 4 hits. He tripled with 2 outs in the 9th off Trevor Hoffman. But then Jock Jones lined out to right to end the game.
Yeah, DeRosa just missed a home run on that triple. Hit it down in the Petco porch in right field. It's 322 down that right field line, and then the porch sticks out onto the field of play a little bit. He hit it right at the corner of that Petco porch, bounced back into play, ended up on third base where he was stranded.
Got him that time on a breaking ball. So a swinging strikeout, and then one of the looking variety on DeRosa.
We talked about the high four-seam fastball. This is the curveball that Chris Young will feature throughout the ball game, and a really good straight changeup that he will go to more the second and third time through the lineup.
Ground ball to short. And Derek Lee off to an 0 for 9 start in this series, still leading the league in batting average, but the Cubs go down quietly. Padres coming up.
Flying to the Washington area for business? If these 15 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, Washington, and Washington Dulles International, maybe this will. Unlike other airlines, our low fares don't have hidden fees.
You are now free to move about the country.
The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA offers a variety of options, including the Red Line, which stops right at Wrigley Field at the Addison Station. If you must drive, try the remote parking operation at DeVry University. Located near the Addison and Rockwell intersection, the remote lot offers parking and an express bus for just $6. For another option, try riding your bike. The Cubs provide a free bike check at the car wash at Clark and Waveland. For more details, call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000 or visit Cubs.com.
AMCI's best-in-class certification for acceleration isn't handed out to just anyone. You've got to earn it. Get 0% APR financing on the all-new full-size Toyota Tundra, the truck that's changing it all. Now at your Toyota dealer.
Jason Marquis, the sinker baller, will face this Padres Southwest starting lineup. Bud Black, with his team winning the first two in this series, he's going to stick with the same lineup 1 through 8. Brian Giles still out of their lineup with the right knee injury. And Chris Young, the pitcher, batting ninth.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively, brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Soriano, Jones, and Floyd across the outfield tonight. Ramirez and Terrio on the left side. DeRosa and Lee on the right side. Michael Barron once again behind the plate tonight for the sinker baller, Jason Marquis.
Tied for ninth in the National League at earned run average. Third in opponent's batting average against at under 200. And in night earned run average, Marquis 6th, Chris Young 10th. So it could be another pitcher's night.
Well, it's a pitcher's ballpark regardless of conditions, but with the cooler air tonight, a little bit heavier ocean air here, you really figure you're going to have to play for a run at a time.
Smack foul down the right field line by Marcus Giles. 1-2 the count. Kevin Kuzmanoff with a game-winning 2-run homer in the 7th off Sean Marshall. That was the difference last night. The Cubs have scored first in both games of this series. Now, we mentioned it in Game 2. They're just 3 games over 500 when they score first. I looked it up. San Diego, for instance, 16-4 when they score the first run. The Cubs 16-13.
I think some of that gets back to the earlier part of the season when it was very apparent that the Cubs weren't able to add on when they did get a lead in the ball game. May score a couple runs early, take a quick lead. When the opposing team would get back in the ball game, the Cubs just didn't seem to be able to tack on any runs.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Marquis. And I think the other thing, Bob, was the bullpen struggles.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lou talking about trying to find some offensive consistency, and that is a problem that has plagued managers and major league teams for years and years and years, trying to figure out the best way to construct that lineup so that you get a consistent approach on a day-to-day basis. And Lou, as you mentioned, crunched some numbers, and a little help from Peter Chase, I'm sure. But, you know, when they score lots of runs, you like this offense. You understand why the team was put together the way it was, but they just haven't been able to put those crooked numbers on the board with any regularity.
Inside corner strike on switch hitting Jose Cruz. Marquis has won 5 consecutive decisions. But since a complete game 3-hit shutout against the Pirates, he has struggled. Called strike 3. The exact same start as Chris Young, a swinging strikeout and then looking for the second out.
You see Michael wants that pitch up. That's that off the body sinker just below the belt. Gets the called third strike from Rob Drake, the home plate umpire, who in the past has called a big strike zone. Should be a great night for the pitchers tonight.
So if it holds true to form, Mike Cameron on the first pitch will hit a ground ball to Ryan Theriot. He didn't swing. What's the deal?
Ruined the mojo.
Last night he snapped a 7-game hit streak. A lot of Cub fans here in San Diego. And they want to see their team win after getting beaten in the first 2 games. 1-1. Both home runs came at game 1. The Padres have hit 5 home runs in the set. The wind and the pitch. It was a little late. And it's 1-2. That last pitch was a fastball, a little over 90 miles an hour. Gargun was a little slow. And tapped foul. That one was a little fast. It's at 104 miles an hour. I think Jason is, well, he might be strong tonight, but not that strong.
Not that strong. I don't think so.
After the game, the Cubs will bus to Los Angeles, start a 3-game weekend series against the Dodgers tomorrow. The 1-2 pitch is elevated. Left center field. Jock Jones over, converging with Soriano. It's the center fielder to take it. So each starting pitcher going 1-2-3 in the first.
This has been an amazing month, and it just keeps getting better. Thanks to all my new friends at Pontiac, we're collecting more cards for the troops than we ever could have on our own. And now they want to say thanks to you.
Now through May 31st, during the Pontiac Memorial Day sales event, get 0% financing plus $1,000 bonus cash on all Pontiac G6 models. Or get a G6 sedan starting at $15,645. Visit PontiacDrive.com. Offer ends May 31st.
Starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brew Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Wouldn't you love a Suzuki with available seating for 7? The 2007 Suzuki XL7 with America's #1 warranty. Wouldn't it be great to get a Suzuki with 252 horsepower? The Suzuki XL7 with more horsepower than Highlander. It's going to be a great ride. And now, for a limited time, get the all-wheel drive Suzuki XL7 for just $259 a month. Hurry in.
Monday, it's a Memorial Day showdown on the north side when Derek Lee and the Cubs look to fry the Marlins in high def. Coverage starts with Verizon Wireless Cubs pregame live. Cubs Marlins Monday at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
They're the players you love and the teams you live for. When you want the game, the latest news, or expert analysis on everything happening in Chicago sports, there's only one place to turn. Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Downtown San Diego, just beyond the batter's eye out in center. Chris Young going back to work, and Ramirez swinging and missing at the first pitch. Well, Ramos cooled off last night, 0 for 4, but still 11 for his last 23. With 7 RBIs and 2 home runs his last 6 games. Left-handed hitting Cliff Floyd on deck, and then catcher Michael Barrett. Young has a sign from Bard. He wants it up. That's where he got it, and Ramirez couldn't find it.
It's hard for hitting coaches to figure out why players go into a ball game knowing full well that that opposing pitcher is going to throw that pitch, and guys still go up there and swing at it. That ball's out of the strike zone up high. 4-seam fastball in the high 80s. You know he's going to do it, and you still can't lay off the pitch. That drives hitting coaches crazy.
The Cubs have made 4 outs. 3 have been strikeouts. Here's Cliff. He's getting the start in right. Comes in at .292 on the year. And he's done a nice job offensively lately, even though he hasn't been in the lineup every day.
We talk a lot about the lineups, and Lou Piniella has shuffled repeatedly trying to find that right mix and get the lefties in there against a right-handed pitcher, get Matt Merton and the other righties in there against left-handed pitching. But tonight's starting pitchers, I think you have to approach it completely differently. Against Jason Marquis, the Padres should put all their best low ball hitters in the lineup because you know you're going to see a lot of sinkers. And against Chris Young, put your high ball hitters in the lineup, whether they're right-handed hitters or left-handed hitters, because that's where he's going to try to do. Pitch at the top of the strike zone.
2-2 on Floyd. Yeah, sometimes the lefty-righty stuff really doesn't matter as much as what you mentioned. You know, they have all kinds of numbers on guys who hit sliders and curveballs. Outside, 3-2.
That's one of the things we used to talk about in our advanced meetings, whether a guy was an up hitter or a down hitter. And obviously you want to pitch him accordingly. If he's a good low ball hitter, you try to work the top of the zone.
There's a fly ball hit very well by Cliff, but not in this ballpark. Termel Sledge hauling it in. It's your turn to play catch in the outfield. Run the bases or relax in the dugouts of beautiful Wrigley Field. The Hey Dad Want to Have a Catch event presented by Motorola is Saturday, June 23rd. Limited tickets are still available by logging on to Cubs.com. All proceeds benefit Cubs Care, a fund of the McCormick Tribune Foundation. Good to see Katie Marta and the Cubs marketing staff in attendance tonight. Michael Barrett trying to get out of a slump. He's 0 for his last 11. Foul tipped into the mitt. 2 strikes. Getting back to what Lou talked about before the game, he said one problem is that we're a very aggressive swinging team. Not that time, as Michael frozen on strike 3. 4 strikeouts already for Chris Young.
Tonight, do the mojito with the refreshingly cool taste of the Bacardi Mojito.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
This is the Honda Ridgeline, the first truck with a lockable in-bed trunk. This is the Pilot. It seats 8 and has a 244 horsepower VTEC engine. And this is the Element. It can reconfigure itself in 64 different ways. Honda, adding innovation and a 5-star crash test safety rating on every truck we make. Get APR financing as low as 2.9% on select Honda models for well-qualified buyers.
Now pick any combination of 5 Arby's favorites for $5.95 every day. Like the Arby's Melt, curly fries, and a Jamocha Shake. An everyday deal so great, it'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
4 new Firestone tires and up to $100 back? We'll drink to that. Get up to a $100 Visa prepaid card when you buy 4 select Firestone tires through June 2nd.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
Tickets are available now for Cubs home games, in particular the June 11th makeup game against Houston at 7:05. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. With some good eats here at Petco Park. We have sampled the fish tacos.
Yes, indeed.
A couple of times, and tough to beat. A strike on Adrian Gonzalez. Bottom 2, 0-0. I mentioned the struggles for Marquis since the shutout against the Pirates. His last 2 starts, 11 innings, 12 hits, 9 earned runs. And less than 90 pitches in both starts. See if he can stretch it out tonight. Right center field for Gonzalez. Jones with a backhanded play. Here comes a throw towards second. Safe. He just beat the tag. 11th double for Gonzalez.
This kid can hit. It's a sinker up and out over the plate. Jock Jones with a nice backhanded play, got to it quickly. A good, strong, accurate throw right on the money. Gonzalez just a little too quick, gets in under the tag.
So he becomes the first base runner, and it's Khalil Green, who is 0 for 7 so far in the series. The Cubs have out-hit the Padres in each of the first 2 games. We mentioned they scored first twice, but have come up short, 5-1 and 2-1.
Now you would expect Khalil Green to try to move that ball to the right side of the field here somehow. Move Gonzalez up to third base. It's been that kind of a series. It's all about pitching and defense when you play the Padres, especially in this ballpark.
Circle that 5 next to the home runs. I mean, that's been the difference. Cubs have really out-hit the Padres when you look at the batting average, but the Padres have made them count. (3-0) with Josh Bard looming in the on-deck circle. And a rough start offensively for Green, although he has hit for power. 6 home runs, 15 doubles, 3 triples. Not a full slate of action, but some interesting games around baseball. We'll keep you posted. Cliff Floyd's going to have to backpedal a little bit now, setting. And Gonzalez will head to third. So Green moves that runner up. He won't get a sac fly. Well, he puts a runner at third with 1 out.
That's the kind of baseball you have to play here at Petco Park, and Buddy Black has figured that out rather quickly in his first year as a manager here in San Diego. This is not the kind of ballpark you can rely on 2- and 3-run homers to win ball games. You've got to manufacture runs, move runners when you get them on base, and Khalil Green with a nice job of hitting that ball to right field to advance the runner on to third.
Middle infielders halfway in. Ramirez right at the edge of the grass at third base. Derek Lee pulled in a little bit as well with Bard at the plate. Yeah, really the most unselfish at bat is getting the guy from second to third. Because if you lay down a sac bunt, get the guy from first to second, not technically an at bat. Sac fly with a runner at third. It doesn't count as an out on your batting average. But that's pretty selfless when you hit a ground ball to the right side or hit that fly ball to right. It's an 0 for 1 in the book, but it helps your team get in a better position to score a run.
And we used to joke on the bench, you get a half an RBI. If Josh Bard would happen to drive Gonzalez home from third base, we used to joke that Khalil Green would get a half an RBI. That's what we need, more stats.
Yeah. Base hit past the diving Ramirez, and Bard giving the Padres the early lead. Well, he came in hitting just 200 from the left side, but a single into left.
Well, the fact that the Cubs had the infield drawn in to try to cut that run off at home plate just eliminated Aramis Ramirez's range down there at third base. He was playing even with the baseline, and that ball shot by him before he could react.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you could sit here and say, well, Bard would have scored the runner anyway from second base. That's not necessarily true. He might not have even gotten a hit because everything is connected. Now, Kuzminoff was the Padres' hero last night on a changeup. He hit a ball 438 feet and turned a Cubs 1-0 lead into a Padres 2-1 eventual win.
Now, Sean Marshall pitched an outstanding ball game last night, with the exception of that hanging changeup to Kevin Kuzminoff. About belt high outside part of the plate, and he got every bit of it.
Kuzminoff with 2 home runs in the series, 3 on the year. So he and Mike Cameron came into the series with a combined 2 home runs. They have combined for 4 already in the first 2 games. Oh, that's a poke.
Yeah, in this ballpark at night, that is a blast right there.
Cameron with 2 in game 1. Here's a pitch. Kuzminoff still hot. He has a 7-game hitting streak. He is 11 for 20.
Now, this is the kind of offense that the Padres organization expected from Kevin Kuzminoff. They stuck by him through the early going this season when he struggled mightily, basically because he never took his lack of offense out to third base defensively. Very smooth defensive third baseman, continued to make all the plays even though his batting average was suffering. And now starting to get it going with the bat a little bit.
Sledge playing left and batting 8th again. Good block by Barrett. First and second, 1 out. And the Padres leading 1-0.
Boy, how about the trade that the Padres made to get Termel Sledge, the batter at the plate, Adrian Gonzalez, the everyday first baseman and offensive star of this ball club, and tonight's starting pitcher from the Texas Rangers.
And it'll go 6-4-3 in a double play to get Marquis out of the inning. They get a run on 3 hits. It's 1-0 to the third.
So once again, you're saying I can order any combination of 5 items for just $5.95 every day.
Yep. So I can get 2 Arby's melts, curly fries, a turnover, and a shake.
$5.95 every day.
What about 5 melts?
$5.95 every single day.
No way.
Bet.
Do it.
Yeah, they're thinking Arby's. Pick 5 of your Arby's favorites for $5.95 every day, like the Arby's melt, curly fries, and a Jamocha shake. An everyday deal so great, it'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
When the subject is trucks, you've got to know how to work it. Quad City Spring is all over that. When you need organizing systems for pickups and vans, and Adrian Steel custom setups are your mandatory upgrades, Quad City Spring gets the call. Ladder racks, toolboxes, towing, and truck accessories, we've got you covered. When the subject is trucks, Quad City Spring knows how you want to get it done. Got a truck? Work it, baby. Quad City Spring, 34th Street and River Drive, Moline.
Even if you're just running to the corner, you might think you don't need to bother with wearing a safety belt. But you're still sending a message to the police you might not want to send. Even on a short drive, you will be pulled over and you will get a ticket, guaranteed. Click it or ticket.
Get Chicago Sports News Nightly on Land Rover Sports Night. Coming up tonight after the game, she's talking about it right now. An interview with John Paxson. Also a Cubs-Padres recap with post-game sound from Lou Piniella. Join Mark Shanowski for Land Rover Sports Night tonight after the game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Not only have a lot of Cub fans here, I have a Bears fan sitting in the stands here at Petco Park tonight.
Well, for the first time, the Padres have scored first, so maybe that'll be just what the Cubs needed. Who knows?
I think that's a Matt Merton fan there.
Maybe. Carrot Top. Oh, yes. Chicago footprints all over the ballpark. San Diego native Jock Jones getting the start. In center, 3 for 14 with a home run versus Chris Young. In January, Jock was honored at a banquet here acknowledging San Diego High School's Athletes of the Century. Played 3 sports: baseball, basketball, and football. Up and in, 1-2. The Cubs without a base runner, and if they do get on, you can bet they're going to try to run, but Chris Young on top of his game, 5 punch-outs.
Well, he's got that great combination working if you're a Padres. That high fastball, that high four-seam fastball, and then throwing the curve right out of the same slot. That curveball starts in the same area as the high fastball. Jock decides to lay off of it. It drops right in there on the outside corner for a called strike 3.
Ryan Theriot hitting 8th for the first time this year, and he hits it foul. Opponents are 15 out of 15 stealing bases against Chris Young. So you have to get guys on to do that, and it makes me think about Ron Santos' story regarding Sandy Koufax. Now, you can help fill in the cracks here, but basically the line was from the stretch, they felt like that he was tipping pitches, correct?
Yeah, he was tipping all of his pitches out of the stretch, and they thought all they had to do was get him in the stretch, and
nobody did.
Nobody did. Nobody got on base.
Yeah, that's rough. Just get somebody on and we'll tell you what's coming. Perfect game later. That was the last time the Cubs were no hit. 1965. Bounce toward Giles. Got a good hop at the end. Pretty easy play.
Yeah, that's tough when you have that inside information, but you never get a chance to use it. That has to be so frustrating. Boy, talking about Chris Young and his arsenal of pitches. Yeah, some pitches complement each other very well. The high four-seam fastball with the overhand curve. 2 pitches that work very well together. Hard sinker, hard slider. 2 pitches that work off of each other very well. And Chris Young has found a combination that works pretty good for him. Laser beam straight fastball.
Marquis with his 3rd career home run on Saturday against the White Sox. At the time, it gave the Cubs the lead. He would end up getting a no decision on the mound, but the Cubs would win the game. Jason hasn't lost since his second start. That was back on April 10th. And he beat the Padres on April 16th. 6 innings, 1 run. First time through the order, Chris Young with 6 strikeouts. Wow.
Experience a Cubs game at historic Wrigley Field. Individual tickets are available for upcoming games. Get your tickets now by calling 1-800-THE-CUBS, visiting the Wrigley Field box office, or by logging on to Cubs.com. See you at beautiful Wrigley Field.
Every night, only one show brings you closer to the teams that matter most. Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet. Highlights, breaking news, interviews, and more time to tell in-depth stories. Sports Night presented by AT&T Yellow Pages. Every night on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
One new hand-tossed pizza from Pizza Hut?
Quick in here.
Hey. Oh, what a day.
Are you still upset that Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed pizza tastes better than yours?
It's like I can smell it everywhere.
Pizza Hut's new and improved hand-tossed style pizza has a new, more flavorful crust. No wonder it beat Papa John's and Domino's in a national taste test. Get any size, any toppings for just $10.99. Want more taste? Get it from Pizza Hut, America's favorite pizza. Now online.
Want to win a special Cubs collectible? Well, here's your chance. Comcast Sportsnet and the Cubs want to give you this limited edition iPod. To enter, tune into Sports Night, and every Thursday at 6:30, watch for the weekly iPod Cubs trivia question. Then log on to ComcastSportsNet.com and correctly answer the question to be automatically entered to win this limited edition iPod Nano. It's that easy. Watch Sports Night and win only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Sunday, the Chicago Fire is on Comcast Sportsnet. Chris Rumpf and company are primed for another win on their home field when they host Real Salt Lake. Chicago Fire Soccer, Sunday at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
My favorite Cub moment. Roughly 50 years ago, I was up in Chicago visiting from Mississippi and come to the Cubs ball game, and I catch a foul ball. And my uncle, who was supposed to come with me that day, got sick and didn't come, and he saw me on TV. That's my greatest Cub moment. And the Cubs were playing the Pirates that day 50 years ago, and here I am. I hadn't been since. So that was great.
Thanks, Jim, our Coors Light inner fan.
Never would have guessed Jim was from the South.
Here's a pitch to Chris Young.
Well, I wonder if he got a foul ball that day 50 years later.
Yeah. Pretty big strike zone here. Called strike 3.
Yeah, when a guy's 6'10" and doesn't like to swing the bat, you've got all kinds of area to go to right there.
Jason Marquis here at Petco Park, 0-1, but a .216 earned run average. On July 27th of 05 with St. Louis, he lost 2-1. Robert Fick with a game-ending RBI single in the 9th. So Jason pitched well here in his only other start, but it came up short. Giles hits a ground ball to Ramirez, who throws across to Derek Lee. The 6th annual Meet the Team Have a Ball is this Tuesday at 2:30. This is your chance to walk on the outfield grass at Wrigley Field and to meet the 2007 Chicago Cubs. Tickets are going fast. A limited number of tickets are still available for $300 apiece. All proceeds benefit Cubs Care. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS. Nothing in 1 on Cruz. Again, getting the start in right. Congratulations to John Smoltz. He picked up career win number 200 tonight. 7 shutout innings as he beat a former teammate Tom Glavine. Cruz lost his bat getting out of the way.
Boy, that is a good pitch for a right-handed sinker baller against a left-handed hitter. That sinker is naturally going to be moving down and away from the left-handed hitter, and Jason Marquis just wants to make sure that Cruz doesn't lean out over the plate and take that pitch to the opposite field.
Jason will take a moment here and get back on the same page with Barrett. A good pitchers duel tonight in Atlanta. The Braves beat the Mets 2-1, and Smoltz with career win number 200. Jason looked like he was having a little trouble seeing the signs. Terrio goes out. Jones and Soriano coming in, and Jones caught it. Might have lost it in the dusk briefly, but he recovered to make the play. And the Padres go down in order. It's 1-0 after 3.
I am your idea. I gotta fly. I gotta move. I'm out of the box and in the network. In the zone and on your mind. Don't stop me now. Give me Rico. Rico's always ready to move me. Send me. Here, there, everywhere. This is how we go. Let's go. Rico.
Roll stability control. Cornering brake control. Patented terrain response. Despite the probability that you won't, the LR2 is designed for the possibility that you will. The all-new 2008 Land Rover LR2. Starting at $34,700. Visit your local Land Rover center.
I know you like me. I know you do. Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was a freak like me? Don't you? Don't you wish your girlfriend was fun like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was fun like me? Don't you?
You never know who's going to drop by on Chicago Tribune Live.
It's going to be fabulous. We're excited. It's going to be great.
Chicago Tribune Live, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Well, let's check in on our Aflac trivia question for tonight. Can you name the Padres hurler who was drafted by Cincinnati as a shortstop? Interesting answer coming up in the bottom of the inning. Chris Young has faced 9 Cubs. He has struck out 6. 2 ground ball outs and a fly out to left. Soriano, first pitch swinging. And that's no problem for Cruz. So make it 10 in a row to start the night for Young. Again, back to what Lou talked about before the game. He talked about being a very aggressive swinging ball club. He talked about speed a little bit. And the fact that the Cubs, you know, they'd like to run a little bit more, maybe even see guys go first to third a little bit more. And I think it's one of the reasons, talking about the aggressive nature of this club, that Mark DeRosa's hitting second tonight. I like the lineup tonight with DeRosa, who's hot at second base, Terrio at short, a couple of guys with a good eye at the plate. Terrio moving down, hitting 8th, just to give the lineup a different look. Well, Mark DeRosa coming in with a .371 on base percentage. That's the kind of number you love to see in a number 2 hitter. Now, this is a club that, again, we talked about it in April. They've got to bang the ball, and it's led to some inconsistencies.
And some of those inconsistencies can be traced to the starting pitcher for the other team. I mean, if they know they're facing a lineup full of power hitters that need to bang the ball in order to win a game, they're going to try not to make mistakes in areas where the ball can get hit out of the ballpark. We've seen Derek Lee see almost exclusively away, 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 away. Nobody comes in on Derek Lee. Aramis Ramirez, pretty much the same story. Cliff Floyd from the left side, Jock Jones from the left side. They're just staying away from the power of the Cubs' middle of the lineup. And especially in this ballpark, you're not going to hit many opposite field home runs.
And if teams do that, Bob, I think it requires even more patience. Because if they're not going to give you good pitches to hit, you should be able to take a few more walks. It's something Gerald Perry has talked about since spring training. The idea of swinging at good pitches to hit and laying off bad pitches to hit.
Now, Gerald doesn't want to take away their aggressiveness. He just wants to make sure that they're selectively aggressive. Attack the strike zone is what we've heard Gerald Perry preach since spring training. Attack the strike zone.
Well, having said all that, the Cubs are in the top half in offense in the National League. They're 7th in runs, 7th in on base, 7th in slugging. And you just want to see them do the things that we see them do in the games where they score 7 or 8 a little bit more consistently. They're not going to score 8 runs a game, but we'd like to get more than 1, which is what they got the last 2 nights. Twisting and turning his Cruz. He makes a catch. Maybe the best hit ball of the night. Cliff Floyd hit one pretty well in the second. And let's go back to last night. Our Panasonic replay, the only RBI for the Cubs, and it came off the bat of Mark DeRosa.
Yeah, he just had a great approach all night long. Against David Wells, against the bullpen, against Trevor Hoffman, the closer. Mark DeRosa just seeing the ball really well last night, hitting everything that was thrown his direction.
Derek looking for his first hit in the series. First hit since jumping back into the starting lineup. And missing a week of starts. This timing could be a little bit off. That's what Lou theorized. He did hit the pinch hit grand slam against the White Sox over the weekend. Got jammed, and now it's 1-2.
Yeah, right after I get done saying Derek Lee's been pitched almost exclusively away. He's had 2 pitches in this sequence that normally Derek would hit if his timing was good, if he felt comfortable at the plate. Chris Young has gotten away with a couple pitches that Derek normally would lean on.
The kick and the 1-2 pitch, high and deep to left. Back near the wall, it's caught by Sledge. Well, Derek just missed what would have been his 4th home run. Young still perfect through 4.
Hey, boss, do we have Aflac?
Yeah, we have something else.
But if you're hurt and miss work, does it pay cash like Aflac does?
Nah.
Or let you spend it any way you want, like for gas and groceries?
Nah.
Or help with everyday bills like Aflac does?
Nah.
There's only one Aflac. Ask about it at work. Introducing the all-new Chevy Silverado half-ton crew cab, a standard stability control system, and the safety and security of OnStar. No other pickup delivers both. No wonder it's the 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The all-new Chevy Silverado.
During the Memorial Day sale, get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 bonus cash on 2007 Silverado half-ton models. That's 0% APR financing for qualified buyers or $1,000 bonus cash back on the all-new 07 Silverado half-ton model.
Meet Michael Johnson, the world's fastest man. Michael holds the world 200 and 400-meter records. When he turns off the lights at night, he's in bed before the room gets dark. Still got it. Brian, what's up? Hey, Michael, how are you? Moving this quick can make you hot in a hurry. So what does the world's fastest man call for? Coors Light. Frost Brewed Coors Light. The world's most refreshing beer.
These are from Michael.
Ladies.
Hi, Michael.
Now let's get the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question. Can you name the Padres pitcher who was drafted as a middle infielder by the Cincinnati Reds? We talked about it a little bit last night, the connection between Trevor Hoffman and Lou Piniella. He was drafted by the Reds out of the University of Arizona in 1989. And talking with Larry Rothschild, he was drafted as a shortstop, but the scout who suggested him as Cameron will ground out to short. Thought his best shot was as a pitcher, but they wanted to give Hoffman an opportunity to see if he could do it playing shortstop. Well, that lasted 1 year, and they made him a pitcher, and now he's the all-time saves leader.
Wise choice of position change, I think. Well, one thing about Trevor Hoffman, and people close to the game have known this for years, he might be the hardest working man in Major League Baseball. His pregame workout that he does on a daily basis would exhaust most players. They wouldn't be able to play a ball game that night. Which is probably why he's been able to maintain the level of excellence that he has as long as he has.
Yeah, I'm going to look up his offensive numbers in the minor leagues. It sounded like the plan all along when he was drafted was that he would eventually be a pitcher, but they wanted to at least give him a taste of being a shortstop in the pros. Low for ball one. 1-1 on Gonzalez.
Yeah, Marquis looks like he's having trouble seeing Michael Barrett's signs tonight. Some shadows around the home plate area, especially down there where Michael's hanging the signs.
Blowing away. Now Hoffman actually spent his first 2 years as an infielder, hit .249 in '89 and then hit .212 in 1990 and became a pitcher in 1991.
You see Michael Barrett has that white tape wrapped around his fingers, trying to help his starting pitcher see those signs a little better.
Soriano over. It's going to drop. It's foul. 3 Cubs in the area. Well, nobody could make the catch. Alfonso last night with a very nice catch up against the wall out in left center. Couldn't get to this one.
Unfortunately, because of the alignment that the Cubs had defensively for the left-handed hitting Adrian Gonzalez, nobody could get there. Ryan Theriot shading up the middle of the field a little bit, expecting Gonzalez to pull the ball that direction. Ramirez with a tough play going straight over his head, looking back, and Soriano with a long run as well out in left field. Jason kind of stretching his back and getting ready for a 2-2 pitch. And here it is. Outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Then we started to talk about that trade that brought Chris Young, Adrian Gonzalez, the hitter at the plate, and Termel Sledge all here to San Diego for Adam Eaton, Akinori Otsuka, and Billy Killian, a minor league catcher. Now, Otsuka was a very valuable member of this Padres bullpen last year, but apparently they haven't missed him. They knew they had some replacements ready, and Kevin Towers felt comfortable trading away Otsuka, which was, for most people, the key to that deal, and they replaced him and have not missed a beat. The best bullpen in the National League.
Well, and 2 potential all-stars every year, Chris Young and Adrian Gonzalez. And another starting player, Termel Sledge. Yeah, it was an excellent trade. The other one he made was the one with Boston, Josh Bard and Clay Meredith for Doug Mirabelli. Inside on Green. 1 ball, no strikes. Not only did they get Bard and Meredith, but also a player to be named later or cash considerations for Doug Mirabelli. It was a major steal by Kevin Towers. Ground ball. Ramirez, DeRosa, Lee. They go around the horn to turn it. Second double play for the Cubs tonight. Gotta get some runners. They haven't had one so far against Chris Young.
Toyota introduced the Prius hybrid and created a phenomenon. In fact, it took us by surprise. So we made more, which means you can find the right one for you. And we're offering savings up to $2,000 on option packages for the first time. America, your Prius is ready. The wait is over. Test drive America's most fuel-efficient car today.
If you need to tow it, Quad City Spring has it. Quad City Spring is the area's suspension, spring, truck accessory, and towing experts. From goosenecks and fifth wheels to every kind of hitch imaginable, including Blue Ox base plates and tow bars, strong as an ox. And Quad City Spring installs and services everything they sell. So tow it right. Get your ride to Quad City Spring. Quad City Spring, 34th Street at River Drive in Moline.
QC Auto Service Centers, serving the Quad City area for over 30 years.
Hi, this is Dan Elias for QC Auto Service Centers. Let's talk brakes. Do you have to stomp on your brakes to stop?
Ensure your family's safety by driving into any one of our 3 QC Auto Service Centers. Our techs will inspect your vehicle's brakes free. We'll install lifetime guaranteed original equipment, brake pads, and shoes.
QC Auto Centers with 3 convenient locations: Bettendorf, Davenport, and Moline, keeping you on the road.
Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
1-0 Padres. We had a shot earlier, Bob. It looked like Jason was kind of stretching his back a little bit. Here was the last pitch to Gonzalez as he walked him in the middle of that inning.
He really reacts funny after this pitch, kind of bends over at the waist. Just didn't look right. Not his normal follow through. And after that pitch for the remainder of the inning, he continued to kind of stretch his back. Hopefully nothing serious.
And we got the big double play ball to end the inning. And the Cubs trying to solve Chris Young. They haven't done it yet. This is his 3rd career start against the Cubs. He's 1-0 with a .329. And Aramis Ramirez will start the 5th.
Keep referring to the differences between the 2 starting pitchers tonight. When Jason Marquis takes the mound as an infielder, you assume you're going to be busy. He's going to throw that sinker down low in the zone. There's going to be a lot of ground balls hit. When Chris Young pitches, you could give your infielders a day off. He's going to give up fly ball outs, and he's going to get a lot of strikeouts.
Played baseball and basketball at Princeton. Well hit. Cameron running after it. Going to be over his head. One hops the fence. And finally, the Cubs get a base runner and their first hit tonight. A leadoff double by Ramirez. And the way things have gone and the way Mike Cameron goes and gets it, I wasn't so sure this ball was going to get down for Aramis.
Carried a lot further than it looked like it was going to when it came off the bat of Aramis Ramirez. Mike Cameron with gold gloves all over the place at home just can't catch up to that ball. Short hops the fence out there in deep center field. Now Cliff Floyd has a job to do, much like Khalil Green did back in that 2nd inning for the Padres. Got to move that runner somehow to third base.
We don't have to tell you about all the chances the Cubs have had in this series. They have left 18 men on base, 3 for 18 with runners in scoring position. They've got 3 shots to get Ramirez in. Good guy to have in this spot. And a good spot to be in, 2-0. Big leg kick. That will not move that runner up. It's Sledge with a catch. The Cubs play the Florida Marlins this coming Monday, Memorial Day at 1:20, and the first 20,000 fans will receive a scratch and win card. 100 random winners will receive a Mitchell & Ness Cooperstown Authentic Collection 1987 Andre Dawson Road jersey, compliments of Bank of America. Fans are encouraged to hold on to their cards for second chance drawings throughout the game. For complete rules, visit Cubs.com. Here's Michael Barrett. Swing and a miss. Not the kind of swing Michael would like to take at that pitch. He got fooled. It was a slider. And the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not uncommon to see a pitcher go right back to the same pitch. When you get an awkward looking off balance swing from a hitter, you come right back with the same pitch again. See if you can get him to bite one more time.
A 1-1. Slicing down toward the right field corner for Barrett. Fair ball. Ramirez will score. Michael snapping the 0 for. The 0 for 12 is history, and it's 1-1.
Seventh double of the year for Michael Barrett. Comes to the opposite field. A belt-high fastball on the outside corner, and he tucks it just inside that foul line down at the 322 mark. By the time Cruz tracks it down, Ramirez scored easily.
So knotted up at 1 apiece. 2 doubles in the inning. Here's Jones. That's a good pick-me-up. Michael Barrett, after Cliff Lloyd could not move the runner from second to third. Barrett knocks him in with a 2-base hit. Barnes setting up shop off the inside corner. It's a little up. Jock hit 27 home runs last year. That tied a career high. He only has 1 so far here in 07, and we're in late May. Busted bat. 1 bouncer to the second baseman. Young floating over to first. Covers a lot of ground with those long legs. And Michael Barrett did not go to third base. He might have thought that ball was going to be caught.
As a base runner, not only do you have to use your eyes, you have to use your ears as well. We could hear clearly up here in the press box that Jock broke his bat badly on that ball. I think you're absolutely right. Michael initially thought it may carry all the way out to Marcus Giles at second base, but turned into a ground ball out. Young with a nice job of getting over to cover first.
4-1 on the putout. Well, the riot has cooled off a little bit. 0 for 5 in game 1. Grounded out his first time tonight. He was not in the lineup last night. Holds his hands out in front and kicks away. Barrett will take third this time. It's rolling toward the dugout. Well, you know, it's easy to, again, to play the what-if game. Well, if Michael had gone to third, but again, well, you never know. But that's why you try to take that extra base when you can get it.
Yeah, if Michael Barrett's at third base, Chris Young maybe doesn't throw the breaking ball in this particular count because of the risk of a wild pitch. You never really know what would have transpired. But boy, you can sure play what if.
Yeah, you can. And they're trying to jam Terrio, and it's low.
Well, even though Jason Marquis, as we know, is a very good hitting pitcher, you have to believe they're going to pitch Terrio extremely careful in this situation.
Cardinals over the Pirates 3-1 the final. Braden Looper with his 6th win. He beat lefty Tom Gorzalani. Jason Isringhausen with his 12th save. It snapped a tie for 4th in the Central. Look out, Ryan Theriot.
Young obviously having problems with that breaking ball here in the inning. He bounced one in the dirt to allow Michael Barrett to advance to 3rd. This one stays up and in, knocks Theriot down to the ground, just never took the break.
And a late bailout there by Ryan, and a 3-2 now. That's foul.
Boy, and the fact that Chris Young is willing to throw another breaking ball in the 3-2 count tells you that he's not afraid to walk Ryan Theriot right here. He doesn't really want to give him too much to hit. It's a pitch he struggled with here in this inning, and he still went to it on the 3-2 pitch.
Runner at 3rd, 2 outs. Cubs have tied it here in the 5th. And Theriot walks. So it will be Marquis to bat with runners at the corners. It's the first walk issued by Young. I want to send out a happy 30th birthday to Brian Quinn. His birthday will be tomorrow. Happy 30th, Brian. And our good friend Mark Grant, former big leaguer and a broadcaster with the Padres, wanted to give a shout out to Denny House, Tim Plaker, Kano, and the gang at 30 Buck and Joliet watching tonight.
Probably having a real good time are the boys in Joliet. Always good to see mud.
And it's one of our favorite stops on the Cubs January caravan, Joliet.
Now, normally a situation you wouldn't start that runner at first base. You don't want to risk Ryan Theriot getting thrown out and have your pitcher leading off again in the next inning. But Jason Marquis not your typical pitcher, and Chris Young has not allowed his catchers much opportunity to throw out runners this year. I think this is one time you go against the book and go ahead and send Theriot.
Well, Young had 2 strikeouts in each of the first 3 innings. None since. He's trying to get Marquis, and the 0-2, he did get him. Went upstairs, and he picks up his 7th strikeout. But a productive inning for the Cubs. They do tie it. It's 1-1.
Let the Cubs pamper you in style while you watch the game from the comfort of the Wrigley Field Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments. It's the perfect place for your next corporate or social outing. Call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com. See you at beautiful Wrigley Field.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
Low prices, more choices on the world's best brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich.
Last week, if you just got the scores, you didn't get the whole picture.
I don't give advice on that stuff. I mean, you can ask me. I talk to him all the time, but I'm not going to give him advice on what he should or shouldn't do on that.
There's no secret. We'd like to add some interior scoring. And we also feel like our main guys have gotten a lot better, and they're going to continue to get better.
He knows that I'd like to start eventually into the future, and that it might happen this year, it might happen next year. Who knows? I'm on a pretty big stage to go out there and close, and I've been having a good year. I'm comfortable down there, and I know what I can do.
Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Time now for a GMC Sports Update.
Mark Shanowski in our Comcast Sportsnet studio will get you back to the game in just a second, but first we check in on the Mets and Braves. John Smoltz started the night with 199 career wins. He gets in some trouble in the third. Base is loaded for David Wright, but Smoltz catches him looking. He earns that 200th win, becomes the only player in big league history with 200 wins and 150 saves. That's going to do it from here. Now back to Len and Bob in beautiful San Diego. Guys?
Mark, thank you very much. It's now a 1-1 game, and runs at a premium in this series.
Oh, always at a premium in this ballpark, but especially with the San Diego Padres pitching staff this year. These guys have been really good, especially here at home.
Jason Marquis will go after this Padres offense once again here in the bottom of the 5th, and he'll face switch hitting catcher Josh Bard. RBI single for Bard in the 2nd. Knocked down by the pitcher. A lot of time. He'll lob it over to Lee.
Well, as a sinker ball pitcher, you know you're going to get your share of ground balls hit back up the middle of the field. Jason Marquis in pretty good fielding position. Good quick hands to knock it down. I'm not crazy about that lollipop throw to first base, but he gets the out on Bard nonetheless.
Kuzmanov, 1 for 1. Jones cruising, stopping and catching.
Well, you know, Lynn, right after we talked about Michael Barrett needing to use his ears as well as his eyes to read the ball off the bat, Jock Jones got a great jump on that ball. Kuzmanov hit it off the very end of the bat, broke his bat, just a little floater into shallow center, and Jones reacted immediately, more than likely because he heard the sound of the breaking bat.
Strike 1 on Sledge. Former Expo / National. He attended Cal State Northridge and Long Beach State. 8th round pick of the Mariners in '99. And he promptly dunks one into right for his first hit in the series. That's a 2-out single, and it'll bring the number 9 hitter Chris Young to the plate. Tigers dumped the Angels. They shut them out 12-0. Carlos Guillen with 2 home runs. Gary Sheffield also went deep. Bonderman over Santana in that one. Wild game in Tampa Bay as the Devil Rays beat the Mariners 13-12. Blue Jays over the Orioles in 10, 5-4 the final. One other game in the American League, bottom 9, Cleveland leading at Kansas City 10-3. So the Indians need to win to stay within a half game of Detroit in the American League Central. Two and 1.
That pitch is probably shoulder high on anybody else in the Padres lineup, with the exception of Chris Young. 6'10". Huge strike zone.
Tapper foul. They're in the 9th in Florida. Phillies and the Marlins are 4-4. Crazy finish. Last night, the Phillies would win it in extras. There was a play at the plate. Rod Barajas had all kinds of time to tag the runner, and he just waited too long. Tagged him too high, and the tying run scored. Brett Myers had to leave with an arm injury as well. But the Phillies did win in 10, 8-7.
And I'll tell you, it was a great throw to the plate by Pat Burrell. You wonder when people are going to stop running on the Phillies outfielders.
Called strike 3 to end the inning. Good shutdown inning after the Cubs tied it 1-1 to the 6th.
The 2007 Chevy Impala has something Toyota and Honda don't. The GM 100,000-mile warranty. And OnStar, with help at the push of a button. And diagnostic checks emailed to you every month. Impala has you covered for the road ahead. Qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Impala 1LT for around $199 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Impala 1LT for around $199 a month.
with the refreshingly cool taste of the Bacardi Mojito.
The AT&T Yellow Pages. With so many detailed maps and directions, you may not need your GPS navigation system again. In which case, we can help you find a place to sell it. The AT&T Yellow Pages, published by R.H. Donnelly, your local expert. The AT&T Yellow Pages. With so much color, you may be inspired to take up painting. In which case, we can tell you where to get started. The AT&T Yellow Pages, published by R.H. Donnelly, your local expert.
Monday, it's a Memorial Day showdown on the north side when Derek Lee and the Cubs look to fry the Marlins in high def. Coverage starts with Verizon Wireless Cubs pregame live. Cubs Marlins Monday at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Midas. Visit Midas for brakes, expert auto maintenance, and tires. And by the all-new full-size 2007 Toyota Tundra.
This Tuesday, May 29th, the Cubs will battle the Florida Marlins at 7:05. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 females 14 and over will receive a Cubs pink cap. Compliments of MasterCard. Len and Bob and our Comcast Sportsnet crew. Late night from Southern California. Cubs came in 4 under 500. Trying to win for the first time since Saturday. The Padres a half game out in the West. They're 6 over. Well, when D. Lee got back into the lineup Tuesday night, Lou put Soriano back in the leadoff spot. And there has been a lot of talk. Driven into the gap. He's going to run. We'll see if he can get all the way to third. Soriano rounding second. He's going to try it. And the relay throw is late. That's a triple for Alfonso Soriano. Great start to the 6th.
Boy, this is a great ballpark to hit triples in if you have speed like Alfonso Soriano. The deep gaps in left center, right center. That ball rolls right up against the 400 mark. By the time Cruz gets there, gets the ball back into the cutoff man, Soriano's already turning the bag at second base and chugging on into third.
DeRosa runner at third, nobody out. Curve for a strike. We have talked about Soriano. He has picked some spots since coming back from the hamstring injury where maybe he hasn't gone 100%. I'll tell you what, he was going 100% all the way that time. He smelled triple out of the box. Swing and a miss. Well, what I was going to say, and maybe that ends the debate, but you know, there's been so much talk this year about where Alfonso best fits into this lineup. And while Lou wants to have a set lineup, have 8 guys, maybe a tweak here or there, but he'd like to just write them in every day. Kind of the same as he did the day before. But I wonder if the Cubs continue to struggle offensively, if he would consider making him a middle of the order hitter, because there's only so much you can do with some other spots in this lineup. DeRosa pushed off the plate. And then we know Lee's going to hit third. Ramirez is going to bat fourth, and ideally Soriano will hit leadoff. Well, one of the thoughts is you have a power hitter, a guy who doesn't walk that much. Maybe he would be best suited hitting fifth. Two on the way, and we'll do it again.
You know, the idea of setting your lineup really only applies the first time through. There's no guarantee that Alfonso Soriano will lead off an inning after the first inning on any given day. The thing that is a little bit of a red flag for me is the fact that Soriano has not run much when he's gotten on base in that leadoff spot.
Big strikeout for Young.
I mean, Soriano does have 7 stolen bases on the season, nothing to sneeze at, but you know, this is a guy that when he does get on base, because of his speed, can put himself into scoring position immediately, and the Cubs wouldn't be so reliant on the long ball.
Now Derek Lee with an opportunity. Strike one.
Boy, Chris Young in trouble right from the get-go here in this inning with the leadoff triple, and has really broken out his slider in this inning. Threw a couple to Mark DeRosa, leads Derek Lee off with a slider. There's another one off the plate away. It's pretty crafty pitching when you have a pitch that you keep in your back pocket until you really get into a tough jam. All we've seen is four-seam fastballs, overhand curves, and an occasional changeup through the early going. Now with the runner at third base and nobody out, he goes to that slider, a pitch that the Cubs hitters had not seen up until this inning.
Gonna go some heat inside. Off the plate, 1-2. Got to cash this one in. Leadoff triple. Now the heart of the order now at the plate. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Young has struck out 2 since the triple.
With a fastball up and in on the pitch before, sets up this slider off the outside corner away. The pitching coaches talk about putting a hitter in the rocking chair. You lean back out of the way of an inside pitch, and then you lean out over the plate for an outside pitch, and then another fastball in. You put the hitter in a rocking chair where he just can't find a comfort zone.
Already a season high 9 strikeouts for Young. His career best 12 set last year. Now the thing about the lineup and who bats where, Grady Little in Los Angeles Dodgers struggled. He flip-flopped Pierre and Furcal 1 and 2. Not because they were doing poorly, just mix it up. And again, Lou has not been afraid to change things. Made a switch tonight. DeRosa hitting second. Terrio batting 8th. 0-2. Wow. Chris Young got out of it. The Cubs cannot get Soriano to home plate after the leadoff triple. 1-1.
Stop, Hub! Where should we sit? Right at first base. Wait, how about along the third baseline?
Wow, this is great. Just like having season tickets.
Looking for great seats? Buy tickets from other fans. Have extra tickets? Sell them to other fans. Go to StubHub.com today for tickets to the hottest sports, concert, and theater events, even if they're sold out.
Peanuts. Hey, there's still tickets right behind home plate.
Peanuts. Let's go for it. StubHub. Your choice. Your ticket. Your experience.
StubHub.
Tomorrow, the homestand continues for the Southsiders when they open a weekend set with the Devil Rays in HD, followed by U.S. Cellular White Sox postgame live. White Sox Devil Rays tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friends.
QC Auto Service Centers, serving the Quad City area for over 30 years.
Hi, this is Dan Elias for QC Auto Service Centers. Let's talk brakes. Do you have to stomp on your brakes to stop?
Ensure your family's safety by driving into any one of our 3 QC Auto Service Centers. Our techs will inspect your vehicle's brakes free. We'll install lifetime guaranteed original equipment, brake pads, and shoes.
QC Auto Centers with 3 convenient locations: Bettendorf, Davenport, and Moline, keeping you on the road.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
Marcus Giles to third. On the short hop, Ramirez makes a play. Well, the Cubs had a runner at third with nobody out and could not get the go-ahead run. Weeknights, don't miss Chicago Tribune Live on Comcast Sportsnet. Dan Jiggett's Tribune writers, sports stars, and celebrities discuss the day's hottest sports topics and set the table for the night ahead. Don't miss Chicago Tribune Live, weeknights at 5:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Yeah, that top of the 6th inning was set up about as well as you could possibly set up an inning to potentially score a run. Your leadoff hitter hits a triple. You got your 2, 3, 4 hitters coming to the plate, and Cubs couldn't make contact. And once again, you have to give some credit to the opposing pitcher, Chris Young. When his back was against the wall there, he came up with a plan B, went to the slider, a pitch that he had not shown the Cubs up to that point, and managed to throw him in locations where the Cubs couldn't get the bat on him.
Two and one on Cruz. Here's a pitch. Pop foul. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, Chris Young has been on top of his game tonight. However, part of you sits there and looks at an inning that looks all too familiar, and I think the word that comes to mind is tiresome. The Cubs have had so many chances getting runners into a good position as Cruz singles into center, and then for whatever reason can't get him in.
Well, sometimes you wonder if maybe the Cubs aren't a little bit too greedy, trying to do too much. I mean, a major league hitter can go to the plate and pretty much make contact with anything he sees if all he's trying to do is make contact to put the ball in play. Now, if you're trying to drive the ball out of the ballpark or hit it in the gap and maybe overswing a little bit, your mechanics come unglued, you swing a little too hard, and then you're going to become susceptible to those borderline pitches. But if you go to the plate with the idea in mind, I'm going to make solid contact and put this ball in play somewhere. With that runner at third base, you've got a real good chance of getting him home. We saw a lot of big swings from the 2, 3, 4 hitters there by the Cubs with the runner at third base. Just shorten up a little, make contact.
Well, the inning was set up ideally. Runner at third, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up, starting with a guy who had 4 hits last night, and then your 2 best hitters after him. Runner goes, ground ball to short. Terrio gets a good hop, looked at second, throws to first, and gets Cameron. So Cruz in scoring position for Adrian Gonzalez.
Well, wise choice there by Ryan Terrio. He briefly had thoughts about trying to snap a quick throw to Mark DeRosa and get the force play at second base. But with the speed of Mike Cameron in the batter's box, if you don't get that force out at second base, you're probably not going to get the out at first base either. So Terrio just decides to go across the field, make sure to get an out.
They are not going to pitch to Gonzalez. It'll be Khalil Green instead. Gonzalez will reach now for the 3rd time. A double, a walk, and now an intentional pass. There's ball 3. Boy, some pitchers will take a little something off it, but Marquis, he really fires that pitch on the pitch out.
But believe it or not, that's not an easy task for some pitchers to just lob that ball out there to the catcher standing wide of home plate. I've seen wild pitches go over the catcher's head all the way to the backstop before. That's something that you work on in spring training as well. The first week of camp, the pitchers are throwing side sessions. And we used to always like to have our pitchers work on that intentional walk, work on their pitch outs as well, do things that are out of the ordinary that at some point in the season you're going to have to do.
Comes back and pops a strike on Khalil Green. The Reds lost tonight 4-3 at home as the Nationals beat them. It's the 30th loss for Cincinnati. The Reds now 18-30. The Astros getting crushed in Arizona 9-1 after 6. Cubs came in tied with Houston for second place. Here it's 1-1. Jason Marquis trying to get the final out here. Get his team into the 7th. Still tied. He went 5 innings 2 starts ago. Went 6 his last time out. Swing and a miss. So he does just that. As the Padres lead 2, it's 1-1 to the 7th.
Sculpted lines. Stirring details. The Lexus ES. One look is only the beginning. As we said, one look is only the beginning. The Lexus ES.
The neighbor's dog had pups, and he was kind enough to give one to my daughter, Molly. Now we're off to get food, bowls, chew toys, a brush, bedding, which reminds me of something my father once told me. There is no such thing as a free puppy.
Time to sit, stay, and save at Tractor Supply. Through June 24th, get a $20 gift card when you buy $50 of pet products, like an AKC kennel, pedigree dog food, or Tidy Cat litter. The stuff you need out here is in here. Tractor Supply.
Amstel Light.
You can lean on me.
Live tastefully.
Watch all the action like you never have before from the comfort of the Batter's Eye Lounge in center field, offering a spectacular view and catered service for groups of 75 to 100. For more information, including non-game day opportunities, call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Every night, only one show brings you closer to the teams that matter most. Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet. Highlights, breaking news, interviews, and more time to tell in-depth stories. Land Rover Sports Night. Tonight, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Get Chicago Sports News Nightly on Land Rover Sports Night. Coming up tonight after this ball game, an interview with John Paxson. A Cubs-Padres recap with post-game sound from Lou Piniella. Join Mark Shanowski for Land Rover Sports Night tonight after the game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. How about a 6-run 7th for the Cubs?
Sounds good to me.
Break it open. Break the offensive tension.
Well, you know, Lennon, there's something to be said for that that word you use, tension. The hitters are always at their best when they're confident and relaxed. And when your offense is not hitting on all cylinders, there's a natural tendency for guys to try to do too much, squeeze that bat just a little bit too hard, swing just a little bit too hard, get away from that confident, relaxed approach that you like to see.
I feel bad for the Cubs' great fans. You and I have been repeating the same numbers, the same stories every night. We just report what happens. But the Cubs are 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And it's been frustrating for everybody watching it. Deep to center, Cameron retreating. Back on the warning track, makes a catch. Floyd missed a home run by about 4 feet.
Just not a very forgiving ballpark If you're an offensive player, Cliff Floyd jumps on a high four-seam fastball, chases Cameron right back to the barrier in center field. I mean, you need to hit the ball down the lines if you expect to go deep in this yard.
Well, the Cubs have been out-homered in the series 5-0. They knew it was going to be a difficult task tonight against one of the better starters in the league, Chris Young. And give Jason Marquis a lot of credit. He has kept his team in it. Well, I think we both thought the offense was going to carry the pitching staff through some possible trouble spots as Barrett walks. But overall, I mean, there are no complaints about the starting rotation at all. I mean, really the one guy who has scuffled has been Carlos Zambrano.
And you'd like to believe that he's going to settle in and become the Carlos Zambrano that we've come to love and know over the last number of years here. But the offense is what has been particularly puzzling. We just thought that, especially once the weather heated up, that this ball club was going to put crooked numbers on the board regularly. And they may still do that. It's just been a struggle up to this point to find any kind of consistency.
And they have done it, but again, sporadic is a good word. This offense has really been all over the place. Clay Meredith getting ready. Barrett was inching off first. Made it a close play. Well, the Cubs without a stolen base tonight against Chris Young because they haven't had a lot of chances. This is only the second time they've had a runner at first because they had 2 doubles and a triple for their only 3 hits. You don't mind the extra base hits, that's for sure. Pop foul. Well, you'll know when Lou has run out of options when he has one of his middle guys try to suicide squeeze.
That's a play that Lou likes a lot. He's used it repeatedly throughout his managerial career when he has the right combination of base runner and hitter at the plate. You certainly wouldn't expect it with the guys, between 2 and 6 in the lineup.
One on, one out. This one there for the taking tonight. If the Cubs can scratch out a run or two with the way Marquis has pitched, we are going to see some action in the Cubs pen. Jason's only thrown 74 pitches through 6. But because he could bat in the inning, we might see a pinch hitter. Gonzalez steps on first, fires to second. Tag is applied. Inning over. 7th inning stretch time. Still 1-1 as Gonzalez with a nice pick. Steps on the bag. The tag applied by Green, and that ends the inning.
Welcome to California.
We cruise.
We fly.
We run.
We go with the flow.
We let go.
And we believe one simple thing.
That every day in California
is your lucky day.
Is your lucky day.
So there's just one thing you have to ask yourself.
How fast can you get here?
Find yourself in California. Southwest Airlines is taking low fares farther with more than 90 daily flights from Chicago Midway to these cities.
You are now free to move about the country.
are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you.
This summer, the American Road is calling. Get there at the Chevy Memorial Day sale. For 7 short days, get 0% financing plus $1,000 bonus cash on select 07s. Hurry, sale ends May 31st.
Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Chicago Tribune Live, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Padres turn a nice double play to end the last half inning. Adrian Gonzalez, you have to know the speed of that runner on first base, whether to make your decision to throw to Khalil Green for the force at second or to go back to the bag, make the tag, and throw on. And this is now a tag play at second base. Gonzalez executes it perfectly.
So still only 3 runs in the series, 1 each night for the Cubs. The good news is Jason Marquis has matched Chris Young pitch for pitch. And his first offering in the bottom of the 7th, a strike on Josh Bard. 1-1. Marquis coming back. That's too high. Kuzminoff, then Sledge. If anybody reaches Chris Young's spot, will come up. Young has thrown 93 pitches. He has 10 strikeouts through 7.
Well, Young has thrown over 100 pitches in every start but 2 this year. His very first start of the year, a no decision against the Giants. He threw 98 pitches, came back 2 starts later and threw 84 against the Dodgers in a loss. Every other start he's been over 100 pitches. And it should be pointed out that 84 pitch outing against the Dodgers came in, that can't be right, 2 innings?
Yeah,
that's a lot of pitches.
Yeah. Wow. I suppose that's possible.
That would be the very definition of laboring.
Yeah.
Throw 42 pitches an inning.
Cub fans still looking to get tickets to the hottest Cubs games this year. Visit Cubs.com and click on Replay, the official secondary market site for the Chicago Cubs. See a Cubs game from the best seats at Wrigley Field. Check out Replay at Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Yeah, it's right. 2 innings, 84 pitches.
And that was
47 strikes.
That was the loss that snapped his 25 straight road outings without a loss. 25 straight starts. He was 9-0 during that period. 25 road starts without a loss.
He did face 5 batters in the 3rd inning and did not get an out. So it was 2 innings plus.
Oh, there you go. That explains it.
All right. Marquis jumping off the mound after that pitch missed badly. Thought he might have tweaked something earlier, maybe in the back area, but he has continued to pitch extremely well. And another one, and I'm going to check his footing in front of the pitching rubber in that landing spot.
Hey, walking off the third base side of the mound, they're looking into the Cubs dugout. I mean, you said it. Jason Marquis has pitched very effectively, even after that incident earlier in the ballgame where we thought he might have done something to his back. But a couple of very awkward deliveries in a row here to Kuzminoff.
And he hit him. Well, the last 3 pitches just all over the place for Marquis. first with 1 out. Third batter he's hit this year.
Hey, bounced 2 in a row out in front of home plate and then over adjusts and hits Kuzminov in the back of the left arm. He was pawing around at the dirt where his front foot lands out there. Frustrated with himself for hitting the Padres batter, but just doesn't look quite the same as he has in his other starts this year. He may be trying to protect a little bit of a minor injury.
Larry Rothschild's going to check down in that bullpen. Well, they make it easy for you, don't they? Don't even have to dial. Just pick it up.
Direct line.
The 1-0 on the way. And now Barrett's going to head out. And Jason Marquis might be nearing the end. Again, the pitch count is not the issue right now. The biggest situation is a tie game in the late innings. And he has struggled finding the plate here the last couple of batters.
Well, the Padres have Jeff Blum, a switch hitter in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Chris Young if we get down to that spot. And if indeed Blum is announced as the pinch hitter, you probably want to bring in the lefty, turn him around from the right side. He has not hit for a high average from either side of the plate, but a much more effective hitter as a lefty.
3-0. Kuzminov with a very short lead at first. 3-1. Sinker found the zone. Looks like Ullman is ready if he's needed.
Padres not much of a running ball club, but this would appear to be a situation where they may get that runner started over there at first base.
There he goes, fouled away.
And Bud Black would like to get that pitcher spot up to the plate in this inning, and one way to do that is to stay out of the double play by starting that base runner.
Well, we're getting close to getting into both bullpens. Kuzminov goes again, and it's low. The Padres, without the benefit of a hit, have 2 on. And Lou Piniella out of the dugout as Jeff Blum is announced. Lou came out last night in the 7th inning to talk to left-hander Sean Marshall. He left Marshall in. Eventually he gave up a 2-run homer to Kuzminov. And Lou's out there right now with Jason Marquis. We'll see what happens. He's going to leave Marquis in.
Well, this is surprising for a couple of different reasons. Marquis is obviously laboring in this inning. He's not as smooth with his delivery as he has been through the first 6 innings of this ball game. He's really been erratic with his command. And as I mentioned, with Jeff Blum coming to the plate, he's been the most used pinch hitter off the bench for the Padres. A much better hitter from the left side of the plate where he is now.
So Blum batting for Chris Young. Kuzminov at second, Sledge at first. Away ball 1.
First, that can all be remedied with one well-placed sinker. Ground ball, double play, get out of the inning.
Bob Howery has joined the fun out in the bullpen. Marquis with a sign. Here he comes. A strike. 1-1. Five hits for the Padres. The Cubs have 3. San Diego got its run in the second. The Cubs answered in the fifth. The kick and the 2-1 pitch. There's a ground ball. 4-6-3. They turn it. So the decision to keep Marquis in the ballgame pays off. He gets the ground ball double play. 1-1 after 7.
Shining is showing someone the way. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we want to help you live a healthy life. By providing wellness programs and initiatives, we keep you focused on staying well and living well. Because we believe sharing a commitment to a healthy way of living can inspire someone for life.
Lean on me.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through.
I know you love me. I know you do. Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was a freak like me? Don't you? Don't you wish your girlfriend was raw like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was fun like me? Don't you?
Roger, for the Go Green sales event, we want you to race this very special bike.
How about I just make a few sales calls or something?
Done.
The Kawasaki Go Green sales event is on. Save big on new Kawasaki vehicles. See your dealer today.
Hello, sir. Sorry to bother you at supper time. Hello?
Tomorrow night, the homestand continues for Paul Konerko and the White Sox when they open up a 3-game set with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in high definition. Coverage begins with Sports Night at 6:30. And the White Sox entertain the Devil Rays tomorrow night at 7, right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Clay Meredith, a side armor, takes over for Chris Young. Young, 7 innings, allowed just 1 run on 3 hits. He struck out a season-high 10.
It seems like we've said this a lot recently. You're just glad to get anybody other than Chris Young in the ball game at this point. This Padres bullpen has been really good this season, but Chris Young just wasn't giving the Cubs much to hack at in this ball game tonight.
And the big question now is Ryan Theriot will get ready to hit. Will Jason Marquis bat behind him? He's ready to go. Outside corner. Is Meredith able to sling that ball up there for a strike?
This could be one of those situations. If Theriot reaches base, Marquis may take the at bat and sacrifice him into scoring position. I do see Angel Pagan over there stretching around on the bench a little bit. He's got his batting gloves on, helmet nearby. Should Theriot be retired to start this inning, we could possibly see a pinch hitter for Jason Marquis because Bob Howery continues to throw in the Cubs bullpen.
Alice, Claiborne, Meredith. No problem for Cruz. And Marquis will not bat. It will be Darrell Ward instead.
Well, another great job by Jason Marquis. You just hope the offense can find a way to push across a run here in the 8th inning, give him an opportunity to win this ball game. He certainly deserves that chance.
If so, it would be his 6th consecutive win. At the very least, he'll get a no decision tonight. If that happens, it would be his third consecutive no decision. Strike one. Biggest crowd of the series, 32,258. They are currently doing the wave.
I think this is our first wave of the year, isn't it? I don't recall seeing one before.
It might be.
There may have been some attempts to start a wave, but it didn't make it all the way around.
Kuzman off ranging to his left. And the pinch hitter Ward retired. Well, if you just joined us, the Cubs had a great chance in the 6th inning to get the lead. The guy coming up, Alfonso Soriano, with a leadoff 3-base hit. But then Chris Young struck out DeRosa, Lee, and Ramirez to get out of the inning with no damage. And that's why we're still at 1-1. Cubs are kind of sick of playing the Padres. They've dropped 10 of their last 11 versus San Diego, but they're actually going to see them again at Wrigley Field in mid-June. A weekend series at 15th, 16th, and 17th. It has not been easy versus this team the last 2 years. Trying to win tonight just to avoid being swept. The pitch. Golfed into left, base hit. Sledge over to get it. It's a single for Soriano. Well, after making 2 outs, hits in his last 2 at-bats.
Well, that was one particular swing right there where it really served Soriano well to stand as close to the plate as he does and as far forward in the batter's box as he does. He was able to get that slider before it reached the outside part of the plate. Just hooked it back into the left field corner.
DeRosa's been held down 0 for 3 on the night. Lojack caught stealing report.
Oh, and they're going to pay a lot of attention to Soriano over there in a tie ball game late. Padres figuring that he's going to try to get himself to second base quickly in this at bat.
Not running. DeRosa hits a ground ball. And Giles gets the out. Green covering second base. That was hit hard by DeRosa, but cut off by the second baseman. Cubs leave 1, still tied.
Think you have the perfect name for the Comcast Sportsnet fans' best friend dog? Well, here's your chance to prove it. Log on to ComcastSportsnet.com and submit your idea for the Comcast Sportsnet Name the Mascot contest. The top 3 names will be announced during Comcast Sportsnet's coverage of Round 2 of the Crosstown Showdown beginning June 22nd. You can walk away with a Comcast Sportsnet prize pack. Submit your mascot name today by logging on to ComcastSportsnet.com, our fans' best friend online.
Even if you're just running to the corner, you might think you don't need to bother with wearing a safety belt. But you're still sending a message to the police you might not want to send. Even on a short drive, you will be pulled over and you will get a ticket, guaranteed. Click it or ticket.
When the subject is trucks, you've got to know how to work it. Quad City Spring is all over that. When you need organizing systems for pickups and vans, and Adrian Steel custom setups are your mandatory upgrades, Quad City Spring gets the call. Ladder racks, toolboxes, towing, and truck accessories, we've got you covered. When the subject is trucks, Quad City Spring knows how you want to get it done. Got a truck? Work it, baby. Quad City Spring, 34th Street and River Drive, Moline.
Time now for a Cadillac Sports Update.
Mark Shanowski in our Comcast Sportsnet studio will get you back out to San Diego in just a second. But first, we check in on the Nationals and Reds. One-run game into the ninth. Reds trailing 4-3. 1 on and 1 out. The power hitter, Adam Dunn at the dish. But he grounds into the tailor-made 4-6-3 double play to end the game. Chad Cordero picks up his 6th save as the Nationals get the win. That's going to do it from here. Now back to Len and Bob at Petco Park. Guys?
Well, Mark, in this battle of bullpens now, the Padres would seem to have the advantage. They've had basically the best bullpen in the game this year. And it's up to Bob Howry to handle the top of this Padres lineup and get it into the ninth with a tie score. The Cubs have struggled, as we know, in close games. 2-10 in contests decided by 1 run. They're trying to change their luck tonight. And we keep saying it. At some point, it has to turn around. The Cubs have to start winning some close games. A 1-1 from Bob Howry. Hit in the air to right. Floyd was playing pretty deep. And he has time to come over and make the catch. So they've kept Marcus Giles pretty quiet, 0 for 4. And Jose Cruz will be the batter as we take a gander at the Feldco Cubs upcoming schedule. Big weekend coming up in Los Angeles, and then back home Memorial Day on Monday. We'll have game 1, 1 o'clock from the ballpark, and then Tuesday night from Wrigley Field, 7 o'clock. Carlos Zambrano will pitch on Saturday in Los Angeles against left-hander Mark Hendrickson. Ted Lilly, Derek Lowe tomorrow. Rich Hill, Randy Wolf Sunday. Downstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. A right-hander, Scott Linebrink, getting warm out of the Padre bullpen. Their bullpen in left center beyond the fence. And the Cubs have their pen down the right field line. Into the mitt for strike 2.
Looks like Bob Howry's throwing a few more 2-seam fastballs tonight, especially to that first hitter Marcus Giles. Normally Bob relies on that 4-seam fastball in the outside corner, complemented by a real sharp slider in the same location. Throwing some 2-seamers in the ball game tonight.
Another fly ball. And it's handled by Soriano. 2 outs. Now Bob's given up a lot of hits. Opponents batting .302 against him. Got his first win of the season in his last start, or last relief appearance, I should say. And that was on Saturday against the White Sox. Just below the knees, ball 1 on Cameron. Cameron 1 for 4 versus Howry. The 1 hit, a home run.
That came in the first at bat that Mike Cameron had against Bob Howry. Boy, Cameron has shown a lightning quick bat on fastballs from the middle of the plate in this series. Struggled with pitches away, struggled with pitches that were inside off the corner, but anything left over the plate on that inside part, he's been able to get the bat hit on it.
Well, with Trevor Hoffman pitching in each of the first 2 games of this series. You would figure that he would have been up here in the 8th if the Padres were to get the lead. The fact he is not would lead us to believe that Bud Black would like to stay away from his closer tonight, even in a save situation.
I talked about it the other night. Bud Black, I asked him, if you have used Trevor Hoffman, first of all, what is his limit? And Bud said, probably 3 days in a row would be enough. And I asked him, who would your closer be if you didn't use Hoffman? He said, well, probably Line Brink, but I could use any of those guys down there right now.
A nice luxury to have. Good job by Bob Howery. Good part of the order for the Cubs. Derek Lee, Aramis Ramirez, Cliff Floyd coming up in the 9th.
The safest accident is the one that never happens. The 2008 Lexus RX with 14 actively safe features. Learn more at activelysafe.com.
Stop, Hub! Where should we sit? Right at first base. Wait, how about along the third baseline? Wow, this is great. Just like having season tickets. Looking for great seats? Buy tickets from other fans. Have extra tickets? Sell them to other fans. Go to StubHub.com today for tickets to the hottest sports, concert, and theater events, even if they're sold out.
Peanuts.
Hey, there's still tickets right behind home plate.
Peanuts.
Let's go for it. StubHub. Your choice. Your ticket. Your experience.
StubHub! Meet Magnus Vermagnuson, the strongest man in the world. Mr. Magnuson can lift a car over his head, carry an anvil the length of a football field, pull a 747 jet with his teeth. And at the end of a long, hot, strenuous day, what does the world's strongest man call for?
Coors Light.
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Hey, buddy, how? Sorry.
On Friday, June 1st at 1:20, the Cubs host the Atlanta Braves at Wrigley Field. The first 20,000 fans will receive a scratch and win card. 100 random winners will receive a majestic Derek Lee 2007 home jersey, compliments of Promo Works. Fans are encouraged to hold on to those cards for second chance drawings throughout the game. For complete rules, please visit Cubs.com.
Because we all need a second chance once in a while.
Yep. Clay Meredith starting his second inning of work. Gave up a single, no runs in the 8th. Bounding ball foul off the bat of Lee.
Now Meredith, like a lot of relief pitchers in baseball nowadays, pitches out of the stretch all the time. And with nobody on base, it's not so important that he stops out there on the mound. But with runners on base the other night, he was borderline balking every pitch.
Caught the corner 2-2. You saw Dempster, the current closer, and the potential future closer, Angel Guzman. Low ball 3. Base hit. First one of the series for Derek Lee. Comes at a big spot.
Just fights off a sinker on the inside part of the plate. Pulls his hands in close to his body to try to get the barrel on it. Lines it right back up the middle of the field.
Derek with 2 steals and 4 tries. We'll see if he'll attempt one in this spot. Not on the first pitch.
Josh Bard on the season. 3 caught stealing in 36 attempts. 8% of the opposing base stealers he's thrown out.
Boy, Derek got an unbelievable jump, base hit. He finally found the ball and will end up at third. Derek was trying to locate the baseball as it came rocketing off the bat of Ramirez. When he found it, he kept on running. First and third, no outs.
Boy, Derek with a huge jump, almost too big of a jump. He stopped and then started once again. Ramirez makes it all a moot point by lining that ball into center. Cubs have it cooking here with runners at the corners.
So it's all set up for Cliff Floyd. Heath Bell getting ready quickly in the Padre pen. Padres are not thinking double play. They're trying to get that runner at third base in a 1-1 tie in the ninth. So they have their double play combo in. Not all the way to the edge of the grass. Of course, Cliff hits the ball so hard. Padres think even if they play back a few steps from the edge of the grass, they still have a shot to keep that runner at third.
Boy, Meredith with just the slightest of hesitations out there before delivering that ball home. I've mentioned it when we saw him in the ball game the other night. He is on the borderline of balking every pitch.
Well, I'm sure the Cubs have said something to the umpiring crew about it. Back-to-back singles to start the inning. 1-2 on Floyd.
A little more deliberate that time. Came to a very discernible stop.
This is a huge at bat, isn't it, Bob? If Cliff can't get the runner in, then it sets up that double play ball and gives the Padres more options. Ground ball. Derek's going to try to score. The throw's going to come to the plate. He is safe. Cubs lead 2-1. It'll be an RBI for Floyd, and the Cubs have the lead.
Floyd with that ground ball to the right side. I was a little surprised to see Giles come home. Derek Lee got a good jump off of third base. That was an easy double play ball. Granted, the Cubs would have scored the go-ahead run, but the Padres would have had 2 outs in the inning. As it is, they have nobody out. Cubs still have 2 runners on base. I think that speaks to the lack of run scoring on the part of the Padres, that they were willing to try to cut off that run rather than take the easy double play. Angel Pagan now will be called upon to pinch run for Cliff Floyd.
An RBI fielder's choice for Floyd. So Pagan now at first. Ramirez the runner at second. Bunted by Barrett, and a dandy, and they didn't even pick it up. They're loaded. Michael Barrett with a bunt hit without a sacrifice bunt all year. Well, it looked like he'd been doing that his whole life.
That ball must have been ticking. Nobody wanted to touch it. Meredith jumped off the mound quickly. Bard comes out from behind home plate. It's perfectly placed between the pitcher and the catcher. Each one thought the other one was going to pick it up, and the ball just rolls to a stop there in the middle of the infield. Bases loaded. Nicely done.
So the Cubs already have the lead, and they have 3 on with no outs. Pitching change, and we'll be back.
This has been an amazing month, and it just keeps getting better. Thanks to all my new friends at Pontiac, we're collecting more cards for the troops than we ever could have on our own. And now they want to say thanks to you.
Now through May 31st, during the Pontiac Memorial Day sales event, get 0% financing plus $1,000 bonus cash on all Pontiac G6 models. Or get a G6 sedan starting at $15,645. Visit PontiacDrive.com. Offer ends May 31st.
Hey, boss. Do we have Aflac?
Yeah, we have something else.
But if you're hurt and miss work, does it pay cash like Aflac does?
Nah. Or let you spend it any way you want, like for gas and groceries?
Nah.
Or help with everyday bills like Aflac does?
Nah.
There's only one Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Nice try, boss.
Nah.
It's the best dynamic performance SUV in its class. The FX, from a company called Infiniti. See your local retailer for 1.99% APR on the Infiniti FX.
Well, the Cubs with a run here in the ninth to take a 2-1 lead, and Heath Bell coming on, and as difficult a spot as you can have for a relief pitcher. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Second appearance of the series for Heath Bell. We saw him on Tuesday night. Came in to pitch the 7th inning, immediately struck out the first 2 batters he faced, then gave up back-to-back base hits to Asturis and Merton. Walked Soriano to load the bases, but then got a fielder's choice ground ball by Ryan Theriot to get out of the inning unscathed.
So the Cubs have scored a run against the Padres bullpen for the first time in the series. And it's Jock Jones at the plate. Ramirez, the runner at third. Pagan, the pinch runner at second. Barrett, after a bunt single, is at first. Infield in for San Diego. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, with this defensive alignment for the Padres, Angel Pagan can get a huge lead at second base. The infielders are in front of him. Normally that base runner at second base, the infielders are behind you. You don't know where they're at.
2-0. Bell to the belt, now to the plate. High chopper. Gonzalez will fire home. Got him. Got the out on the force play to get Ramirez. So they're still loaded with 1 out.
That ball chopped high off the plate. It's hard to figure out how Ramos Ramirez could not score on that high chopper to the right side of the infield.
Infield still in, and the pitch to Theriot is low.
Boy, a hitter in this situation, this is where you have to tell yourself, make him get the ball up. I don't want to swing at anything from the middle of the thighs on down. That's a pitch that generally will be hit on the ground, and that's not what you want right here unless you find a hole.
They give Theriot a lot of room out in left center as Cameron is shading him toward right center. Three hits and a run in the inning. Late swing, 1-2. The go-ahead RBI tonight belonging to Cliff Floyd on a fielder's choice ground ball. Scoring Derek Lee. Off the plate, but it went backwards.
Good emergency swing. Just find a way to foul it off, stay alive, force Heath Bell to throw another pitch.
Well, you look at this bullpen and opponent's batting average. Righties hitting just 200 against Bell. Lefties 162. Lefties are 2 for 27 against Kevin Cameron. 0 for 11 against lefty Justin Hampson. I mean, they have been tremendous. Cubs have gotten to him, however, here in the ninth. Ground ball to third, knocked down by Kuzminoff, and he'll get 1 out at third base. Pagan scores. It's now 3-1. To give Terrio an RBI. That's the third fielder's choice of the inning.
Boy, it looked like that was going to be a tailor-made double play ball, leading Kuzmanov right to the bag at third. He just mishandles the ball. By the time he picks it up for the force out, he has no play.
And that run is charged to Meredith. So they're at first and second. And Matt Merton, the pinch hitter for Howry, who can get the win. The kick and the 0-1. A strike. Cubs with 2 here in the ninth. They trailed 1-0, tied it in the 5th, and now have taken the lead. And it'll be Ryan Dempster in the last of the inning. Gonzalez, Green, and Bard, the scheduled hitters for San Diego. Called strike 3. So Merton is out. The Cubs get 2. It's 3-1. 3 outs to go.
If the road designed a car, what kind of car would it be? Steering ratios would adjust according to speed. Twin turbos would unleash more power using less fuel. Adaptive headlights would follow curves. The new BMW 5 Series, with thousands of ideas created by BMW on behalf of roads everywhere. Lease a BMW 5 Series for $569 a month, now until May 31st.
The Blackjack. Fully loaded, deceptively thin. Exclusive access to HBO Mobile with The Sopranos. Catch up on select episodes and preview next week's show. And The Sync. The ultimate place for HBO Mobile and keeping up with the final season of The Sopranos. Our latest phones with video, vibrant MP3 sound, and exclusive access to HBO Mobile. Now get 50% off all Samsung phones. Singular's name is now AT&T.
Amstel Light.
You can lean on me.
Live tastefully.
Hey, want to see a Cubs game from the front row at Wrigley Field? Now you can. Visit Cubs.com. Click on the front row auction to bid on tickets for the hottest games this summer. Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Pagan remains in the ballgame and plays center, pushing Jock Jones over to right. And the new pitcher is Ryan Dempster. Save spot for him. 9 out of 10 this year. Second appearance in the series. We saw him Tuesday night. Got the final out of the 8th inning. And a tough out in Adrian Gonzalez. Double, walk, intentional walk. So he's been on 3 times, 1 for 1 with a run. Good start. Swing and a miss. No ball, 2-strike count.
You look at the past matchups to see who are the guys in this Padres lineup that might give Dempster some trouble. And fortunately, if things go well, he won't have to see any of them. Both the Giles have done well against Ryan Dempster in their respective careers. Also, Mike Cameron has done a nice job against Ryan Dempster. Hopefully he'll see none of those guys.
Pagan on the move with a waist-high grab. A Nissan drive of the game. Normally it's a 400-foot home run or a double. We're going to go with Cliff Floyd's RBI fielder's choice to give the Cubs the advantage.
Whatever it takes.
One strike on Khalil Green. 4 pitches, 4 strikes from Dempster. First time he's missed. Prior to Tuesday night, we saw Demp in game 1 as he saved the win against the White Sox. Popped up by Green, shallow center. It's Pagan again. 2 down. Cubs 1 out away from a happy bus ride to Los Angeles.
Get on that big silver dog.
Ground ball, this will do it. Derek Lee will step on the bag, and a big win for the Cubs. They're all big, but a tight ball game. They haven't been winning these types of games. They did tonight. The final score, the Cubs 3, the Padres 1. Bob Howry with his second win in as many relief appearances. And Ryan Dempster with a very clean 9th inning. Great job by Jason Marquis. He gets a no decision tonight, but the Cubs win. They get 2 in the 9th. Well, it wasn't easy, but nobody ever said it was going to be.
Well, that's right. You know, you'll take them however you can get them. Not exactly the way Lou would have drawn it up back in Mesa in spring training, but take it nonetheless.
So the producer tonight of Cubs baseball, Bob Albrecht, our director, Dave Turner, Tamara Anderson, our associate producer. Thanks to our stage manager, Alan Leventhal, our technical director, Bob Grabko, our great crew here in San Diego, Jim Corno Jr., our executive producer, and that's going to wrap up our game coverage. Stay tuned for Sports Night coming up next. The final score once again, the Cubs 3, the Padres 1. We'll be back with you here on Comcast Sportsnet. Monday afternoon, Memorial Day against the Florida Marlins, live from Wrigley Field at 1 o'clock. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. Now for Bob Brenly and our entire crew, Len Casper wishing you a great rest of your evening. You've been watching Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you.
This summer, the American Road is calling. Get there at the Chevy Memorial Day sale. For 7 short days, get 0% financing plus $1,000 bonus cash on select 07s. Hurry, sale ends May 31st.
Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Experience a Cubs game at historic Wrigley Field. Individual tickets are available for upcoming games. Get your tickets now by calling 1-800-THE-CUBS, visiting the Wrigley Field box office, or by logging on to Cubs.com. See you at beautiful Wrigley Field.
All new mowers look good, but Saturday morning is no time to find out your new mower won't start. You have things to do. A lawnmower is only as good as the engine that powers it.
Hey, mister.
If you don't have a Briggs & Stratton, you don't know what you have. Briggs & Stratton, the power within.
Monday, it's a Memorial Day showdown on the north side when Derek Lee and the Cubs look to fry the Marlins in high def. Coverage starts with Verizon Wireless Cubs pregame live. Cubs Marlins Monday at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police. Bacardi Rum. If you're going to drink, be responsible. And by Pontiac, 9 performance machines, all designed for action.
I'm Jock Jones. You're watching Comcast Sportsnet.
Straight ahead on Land Rover Sports Night. Trying to avoid a 4th straight loss, the Cubs hoping to feel young again in San Diego.
Slicing down toward the right field corner for Barrett. Fair ball.
The Bulls didn't win the lottery, but with another high pick, could they add another piece to their championship puzzle?
We're going to go about, again, the process of building our team.
2 straight losses and their star wideout sideline. Is it panic time for the Rush?
We have 8 wins. We didn't get our 8th win till the playoffs last year.
Let's get a different subject. Talk about some bikinis on the beach or something.
Hey, whatever you want, Lou. Sports Night starts now. Wonder what Lou Piniella was doing before the game. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Land Rover Sports Night. I'm Mark Shanowski. The White Sox enjoying a day off before their weekend series against Tampa Bay, while the Cubs just trying to figure out a way to beat the San Diego Padres. They've lost 10 of the last 11 games dating back to last season, and they were trying to avoid the series sweep tonight. Jason Marquis going for the Cubs. The Padres sending Chris Young to the hill. Young, the 6'10" right-hander, gets Michael Barrett looking at strike 3 to end the inning. He struck out 6 of the first 9 Cub hitters he faced. Padres half of the second. Runner on third. Josh Bard, a base hit through the left side. Adrian Gonzalez will score, so San Diego gets on the board first once again. Top of the 5th, Cubs offense gets things going. Aramis Ramirez leading things off. He reaches down, drives that pitch from Young over Mike Cameron's head. He ran into second with a stand-up double. Later in the inning, Michael Barrett, an 0 for 12 slump, breaks out of it. Taking one the other way, bounces just inside the foul line. Ramirez will come around to score, and that ties the game at 1 run apiece. Alfonso Soriano leading off the 6th inning, laces one into right center field. That ball rolls all the way to the wall. Fonzie showing off his speed, slides into third with a triple. Looks like the Cubs are in great shape to take the lead. But Young isn't fazed by that start to the inning. He gets Mark DeRosa swinging. Derek Lee chasing another one. And then Ramirez on the check swing. Young gets out of the inning. Sweet Lou looking a little bit sour after that one. Padres with 2 on, 1 out of the 7th. Piniella sticks with Marquis. He gets Jeff Blum to ground into the double play, and that ends the threat. So it's 1-1 going to the 9th inning. Ramirez ropes one to center. Derek Lee moves on to third with no outs. Surely the Cubs have to score this time. Cliff Floyd is next. He hits a chopper to second. Marcus Giles comes home with the throw. But Lee gets there just in time with a great slide. Take another look. He gets his hand under the tag. Cubs are in front. 1 out. Ryan Terrio up with the bases loaded. Grounder to third. Kevin Kuzminoff bobbles it. Angel Pagan scores. Cubs up 3-1. So Ryan Dempster comes in to close it out. He goes 1-2-3, getting Josh Bard to ground out the lead to end the game. Cubs a very satisfying victory by a final of 3-1. Piniella talked about the Cubs' miserable record in close games, but they were able to get the job done in the 9th inning, snapping a 3-game losing streak. They'll head up the California coast for a weekend series against the Dodgers. Ted Lilly pitches the series opener at 9:40 p.m. Meanwhile, Ozzie Guillen's White Sox seem to be treading water these days, just waiting to catch fire and go on a long winning streak. They'll start a 3-game series against Tampa Bay at U.S. Cellular Field Friday night. After scoring 28 runs over a 3-game winning streak, the Sox hitters went back in the deep freeze Wednesday, getting shut out by Oakland. The players will tell you winning 2 out of 3 against the A's really isn't all that bad.
It's the name of the game. I mean, it's tough to sweep any big league team. I mean, at some point, I think you're going to have to make a run and string together a nice winning streak. So I think we will. It's just not of late. We've been winning series, which, you don't want to complain. We've been playing pretty good ball, but at some point we'll have to string together a nice winning streak to make a push.
There's some days, like I said, the pitchers are going to shove it in your you-know-whats. I mean, it just happens. It's baseball. You're not going to win every game, but I think guys, we're on the right step over the last few days, what we've done, and hopefully we continue to do that the next couple of days.
Devil Rays with an afternoon game before their trip to Chicago, getting a tune-up against the Mariners. And if you like offense, you'd love this one. 12-7 Tampa Bay in the seventh. Jose Lopez drives one to left. That's a 3-run homer. Seattle now down by 2, 12-10. Bottom of the eighth, Ty Wigginton gets some insurance. A solo shot here. 13-10 D-Rays, and that extra run sure would come in handy. Because watch what happens at the top of the ninth. 2 outs. Ichiro muscling up, takes that Al Reyes pitch out to right center. A 2-run homer, so the Mariners are down by just 1. Jose Guillen is next, representing the potential winning run. Reyes gets him swinging to end the game. Guillen 0 for 6 on the day. D-Rays win 13-12. And we've got the series opener between the White Sox and the Devil Rays here on Comcast Sportsnet. Sports Night sets the table at 6:30 with Mark Burley throwing the first pitch right around 7:11. And stick around afterwards for White Sox postgame live with Chuck Arfine and Belton Bill Melton. It figures to be a very busy summer for Bulls general manager John Paxson. He'll head to Orlando next week for the NBA's pre-draft camp to scout some second-round prospects and talk to other GMs about possible trades. Right now, the Bulls hold the 9th overall pick in next month's draft, but Pax told the panel on Chicago Tribune Live he's considering all of his options.
There are very few quick fixes. I mean, Portland and Seattle got a quick fix the other day. I mean, let's face it. That's one way to do it, but it doesn't come along very often. It's very hard to sit here and say, okay, just do that and you'll make yourselves better. We've invested a lot of time and energy in certain players here, and they've rewarded us with their play. Those are difficult guys to bail on unless a deal comes along that you just say to yourself, that's ideal, and we are, you're never 100% confident, but you're pretty darn sure that this is going to give you help you make a significant step going forward. People want us to have that quick fix. I hope it shows up for us, but if it doesn't, we're going to go about, again, the process of building our team.
Also on Pax's to-do list for this summer is re-signing restricted free agent Andres Nocioni and offering contract extensions to both Ben Gordon and Luol Deng. Paxson was able to work out a deal with Kirk Heinrich a year ago, but he says either way, Gordon and Deng are under contract to the Bulls for next season.
I don't expect this to get adversarial at all. I hope to get a deal done. I'll go in being very fair from the outset. If it doesn't work out, I don't look at it as something that will be an issue, because ultimately, we'll get to a point where we feel this is the deal that, given that it's an extension, that this is a deal that makes sense for us. And if they don't agree with that, that's their prerogative. I won't feel any differently towards them because, again, I know the fact that we have them coming on our team next year, and we also have the ability to retain them going forward. And I fully expect those things to happen. Whether it's this summer or next summer, I think those things will happen.
All right, Pax, Game 2 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron James getting a lot of heat for passing up that last shot in Game 1. So he came out much more aggressively in Game 2, driving for the reverse dunk. James a game-high 19 points. We go to the fourth, Pistons up 1. Rasheed Wallace, the steal, takes it all the way in for the layup. Wallace had 10 of his 16 points in the final quarter. Under 30 seconds to play in the game, Pistons now trailing by 1. Wallace nails the tough turnaround jumper to put the home team back in front. Last chance for the Cavs, and this time LeBron is going to take the shot. Spin move in the lane. He draws some contact, no foul. Ball's batted out to Larry Hughes, wide open, but he clanks the jumper. And look at that. The Cavs are finished. Final score 79-76. Detroit now leads the series 2-0. The Bears may be focused on making another run to the Super Bowl, but there is still some free time left before training camp begins. So for veterans like Reuben Brown, it's time to hit the open road. And our William Jackson is going to take us along for the ride.
When you think of the Bears' Reuben Brown, you think of him here on the football field, where he helped the Bears reach Super Bowl 41. But despite his 9 Pro Bowl appearances, including this past year with Chicago, Brown may be doing some of his best work not on the football field, but instead on his Harley with his Reuben Brown motorcycle run.
June 9th and 10th here in Chicago is the second year that we've done it here in Chicago. I've been doing it for 9 years. What we call it is a motorcycle run. Actually, it's like a cruise. We'll start up in Woodstock, Illinois, take a ride up to Lake Geneva, hang out up there for a minute and ride back. It's pretty much a fun run to raise money.
But while it's a fun run cruising down the road, it serves a very serious purpose, raising money for the Salvation Army and other local organizations. But the lion's share will go to the Salvation Army, a place that is close to Brown's heart.
As a young kid, you know, that was a place we used to hang out. You know, the Salvation Army was a place where everybody played basketball, where you went to sign up for the different sports that were going to happen around in your community. And it was a lot of mentors were there, you know, after school. That was the first place you went. Now, not all the good kids was there. Right. You know,
Trying to tough you up a little bit.
Yeah, you know, they had to keep an eye on us, but, you know, that's just my way of saying thank you.
And as a result of Reuben's generosity with the run, he has raised over $500,000 in Buffalo alone, and he's hopeful it grows here in Chicago like it did there.
When we first started in Buffalo, we started out with 300 people. Okay. Now we're getting over 3,000.
Wow.
You know, so that's what it's turned into in the 7 years. So. Wow. Last year, we got 300 here. We're hoping to increase it by a little bit more. You know, hopefully as time goes on, you know, maybe we'll have 3,000 here in Chicago.
Now, the fun for Reuben's motorcycle run will start here at Navy Pier on June the 9th from 7 to 9 p.m. It will be a kickoff party. And no, you don't have to ride to enjoy the festivities. A night that will be capped off with a fireworks display.
We'll have some live music for people to check out. We'll have food there from the different local vendors and stuff like that. We also have all type of raffle items and giveaways and prizes. It's almost like going to a carnival. I'm fortunate to have a lot of friends that are in the motorcycle business that have been on Discovery Channel and TLC and stuff like that. They're going to come out and support us. We'll have the Bears, current and former Bears, Roland Harper, and Sean Gale have been real supportive of me.
Now, with the motorcycle accidents involving the Steelers' Ben Roethlisberger and the Browns' Kellen Winslow Jr., some may wonder just how safe the ride will be. Reuben says, very safe.
Usually when I ride, a lot of my friends are cops and state troopers who are trained to ride motorcycles. If you actually come to Woodstock this year, we'll have a whole demonstration. You know, a whole safety, you know, thing, some of the cops showing you some of their skills and stuff like that. On the run, we have tons of road captains and guards and lookouts that kind of make the run as smooth as possible. We don't interfere with the traffic. We design the run to go around the traffic.
With the Bears' Reuben Brown, William Jackson, Comcast Sportsnet.
Thanks, William. And you can take part in Reuben's Run on Sunday, June 10th at the Woodstock Harley-Davidson. Registration is between 8:30 and 10:30 a.m. and is $25 per rider. Coming up on the show, Mike Hohensee wondering if he'll have the Arena League's best receiver back in his lineup on Saturday. While the Chicago Fire looks for an energy boost against the New York Red Bulls. Highlights are next here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Land Rover Sports Night is driven by the all-new LR2. Where there's new land, there's a new Land Rover.
It seems that no matter where we go or what we do, we always take my Land Rover LR3. Like when my daughter had to transport her ambitious yet prize-winning science project, it was, let's take mine. When the wife's 6 extra-tall relatives made a surprise visit, I took them to her sisters. In mine. Took mine. Took mine. When we went on a supposedly sun-filled vacation, we just had to take mine. And when the clouds finally parted, I'm glad we had mine.
LandRoverIllinois.com, proud sponsor and official pace car of the 2007 Why Me Race to Empower.
We're America's largest refiner.
And some of the vehicles we fuel don't travel on roads. For those that do, we make some of the cleanest gasoline on the planet. And every drop is performance guaranteed. And our employees contribute over 200,000 hours a year in our communities. We know you probably don't think about these things when you think of Valero. That's okay, just as long as when you do think of us, you think of this. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
The most realistic baseball sim ever. MLB 07 The Show, only on PlayStation. Rated E for everyone.
I'm Shauna Fleming, and I started A Million Thanks. May is National Military Appreciation Month. To find out how you can say thanks to the troops, go to amillionthanks.org.
Now pick any combination of 5 Arby's favorites for $5.95 every day. Like the Arby's Melt, curly fries, and a Jamocha Shake. An everyday deal so great, it'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Welcome back. Chicago Fire coach Dave Sarakin facing off against his former boss, Bruce Arena, and the Red Bulls. First minute of play, Red Bulls on the attack. Great pass to Josie Altidori, who fires the shot in for a goal. New York in front early. Just over a minute later, nice cross in the box. Juan Pablo Angel gets control, hits the tough angle shot for another goal. 2 scores in just over a couple of minutes. Now to the 23rd minute, Fire hoping to get one of those goals back. Chad Barrett on the breakaway, but he's stuffed by keeper John Conway, and the ball is cleared away. No score there. For the second half, more Red Bulls. Fire can't clear the ball from the box. Angel is there again, gets the easy score past Matt Pickens. The Fire lose their 4th straight game, final score of 3-0. The Bobby Scipio watch continues for the Chicago Rush. The star receiver did not practice again on Thursday, but he is expected to test his sprained left ankle before the team leaves for Arizona. Officially, he's a game-time decision against the Rattlers for Saturday night. The Rush play 3 of their final 5 games on the road, and as Kerry Sayers tells us, they can't afford to slip up against Arizona.
Last weekend was a low point for the Chicago Rush. It was their worst offensive showing of the season, scoring just 27 points against Nashville in their first home loss this year. After winning a franchise record 8 straight, the Rush are now in the middle of a 2-game slide, but they still feel good about where they're at.
We have 8 wins. We didn't get our 8th win till the playoffs last year. So, yeah, we're much farther ahead.
The Rush were 4-7 at this point last season, but after they claimed Bobby Scipio off waivers, he made an immediate impact with 654 receiving yards and 17 touchdowns. The Rush went 7-2 the rest of the way, including 4 straight playoff wins en route to the Arena Bowl championship. So sitting out now and watching the Rush lose last weekend has been even more painful for Scipio than his ankle injury.
It hurt me to my heart, man, just to see my team and doing what they did. And, you know, being the player that I am for my team, man, it's just, man, I knew how everybody felt, and I know how hard we work, and it was just a loss. And being an athlete and a player, you never want to lose.
What he does as a receiver is unbelievable, but he brings an energy and excitement to the locker room and gets everybody excited and feeding off of him. So that'll be one thing that we'll have, and we'll look forward to having this Saturday.
This weekend would be perfect timing for Scipio's return. The Rush are heading to Arizona, where U.S. Airways Center has been a house of horrors for them. They're 0-5 there, 0-6 against the Rattlers all time, and this year they're hoping to turn their luck around.
And they're one of those teams for as long as they've been in existence. They play well at home, and no matter what their record is. So we got to go in there and give our best effort for 4 quarters and give ourselves a chance to win, because they do have some veterans that are very good, and I think that's probably their key to victory at home.
It's a big game. We have to have, the rights of never beating Arizona is really what we're trying to, come over, and we're just really trying to get off this losing streak because it hurts.
While Arizona has only won 3 games this season, history tells the Rush they can't overlook them. And Coach Ho is pulling out all the stops to try and end their slide.
I just told all the white guys they can't go to the pool today, tomorrow, or Saturday before the game. So maybe, a lot of times we went out there and guys were sore from the sun under their shoulder pads. So we're gonna make it a rule, and we're gonna fine him if I see him out by the pool.
Whatever it takes to win. With the rush in Hoffman Estates, Carrie Sayers, Comcast Sportsnet.
Thanks, Carrie. Don't forget you can watch the Rush take on the Rattlers Saturday night at 9 p.m. Immediately after the game, Sports Night will get you caught up on a very busy day in Chicago sports. And after a break, Fighting Illini basketball player Jamar Smith reaches a plea bargain on a DUI charge. But what does that mean for his future with the basketball program? Stay with us.
Tonight, the homestand continues for the Southsiders when they open a weekend set with the Devil Rays in HD, followed by U.S. Cellular White Sox postgame live. White Sox Devil Rays tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
All new mowers look good, but Saturday morning is no time to find out your new mower won't start. You have things to do. A lawnmower is only as good as the engine that powers it.
Hey, mister.
If you don't have a Briggs & Stratton, you don't know what you have. Briggs & Stratton, the power within.
On Mother's Day, Major League Baseball will use pink bats to call attention to breast cancer awareness, and many players will be using Louisville Slugger pink bats. Louisville Slugger, the official bat of Major League Baseball. You can purchase these commemorative full-size bats for just $129.95 plus shipping and handling. And for each bat sold, Major League Baseball will contribute $10 to Susan G. Komen for the cure. Call Hamster Direct for the Cubs and White Sox pink bats at 866-280-BATS or go to BigTimeBats.com. There are numerous players available along with all 30 teams.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
Low prices, more choices on the world's best brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich.
The most realistic baseball sim ever. MLB 07 The Show, only on PlayStation. Rated E for everyone.
Well, it certainly didn't take long for first-year Chicago Sky coach Bo Overton to decide his team really needs some inside help. The Sky traded their leading scorer, Monique Curry, to the Washington Mystics in exchange for 6'3" center Chastity Melvin. Melvin is an 8-year WNBA veteran who's averaging 11 points and 5.5 rebounds per game. University of Illinois basketball player Jamar Smith began serving a 15-day jail sentence Thursday immediately after pleading guilty to a charge of aggravated driving under the influence, which is a Class 4 felony. Under a plea agreement, charges of leaving the scene of an accident were dropped. The sophomore from Peoria was involved in a crash back in February, which seriously injured teammate Brian Carlwell. Smith sat out the remainder of the basketball season, and his future with the Illini program is still in doubt, according to head coach Bruce Weber. Smith released a statement through the school's sports information office saying, quote, "I take full responsibility for what occurred on the night of February 12th, and I am deeply remorseful for everything that happened. I sincerely apologize for my actions and for the negative light that I have brought to my family, friends, the university, and the basketball program. I can't go back in time and make it go away, but I can do something about it from this point on. And that is why I'll do everything in my power to make sure that nothing like this happens again." For the latest on your favorite Chicago sports teams, log on to our website at ComcastSportsnet.com, then click the link to Chicago. We're coming right back with our play of the day.
Tonight, the homestand continues for the Southsiders when they open a weekend set with the Devil Rays in HD, followed by U.S. Cellular White Sox postgame live. White Sox Devil Rays tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Since 1939, members of the Concrete Contractors Association of Greater Chicago have put quality craftsmanship and expertise into every job. The CCA employs skilled union tradesmen to ensure that every project meets exacting standards. Call 630-9904-CCA to locate a qualified CCA union contractor.
You never know who's going to drop by on Chicago Tribune Live. Vince Young, Drew Brees, Alfonso Soriano.
I picked this team because I want to win.
Evander Holyfield, Gale Sayers, Steve Dahl.
I'm kind of glad that the Sox won the World Series. It takes some pressure off of me as being one of the highlights.
Adrian McCoy, Don King.
I count it down. Chicago is.
Chicago Tribune Live, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Think you have the perfect name for the Comcast Sportsnet fans' best friend dog? Well, here's your chance to prove it. Log on to ComcastSportsnet.com and submit your idea for the Comcast Sportsnet Name the Mascot contest. The top 3 names will be announced during Comcast Sportsnet's coverage of Round 2 of the Crosstown Showdown beginning June 22nd. You could walk away with a Comcast Sportsnet prize bag. Submit your mascot name today by logging on to ComcastSportsnet.com, our fans' best friend online. Want to win a special Cubs collectible? Well, here's your chance. Comcast Sportsnet and the Cubs want to give you this limited edition iPod. To enter, tune into Sports Night, and every Thursday at 6:30, watch for the weekly iPod Cubs trivia question. Then log on to ComcastSportsnet.com and correctly answer the question to be automatically entered to win this limited edition iPod Nano. It's that easy. Watch Sports Night and win only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
More baseball action. Indians trying to avoid the sweep in Kansas City, and the Tribes start fast. First inning, no score. Ryan Garco, 2-out single to left, driving in a pair of runs. Garco finished with 3 hits. He's now batting .336. Indians up 2-zip. Next batter is Jason Michaels. He crushes the 1-0 fastball deep to left off Jorge De La Rosa. Way back and gone. Michaels' second homer of the year. Tribe up 5-0 after 1, giving Jeremy Sowers a big cushion to work with. Top of the 5th, bases loaded for Casey Blake. He lines one down the right field line. That goes all the way to the wall. Blake clears the bases with his second triple of the year. Indians stay within a half game of first place Detroit in the AL Central, winning 10-3. More than 22,000 runners representing over 600 Chicago area companies took part in the 26th annual J.P. Morgan Chase Corporate Challenge. Bears radio play-by-play man Jeff Joniak, the master of ceremonies, and there's rookie running back Garrett Wolf, also representing the Bears. Comcast Sportsnet fielding a strong team, but the big mystery of the night, what happened to Luke Stuckmeyer? Look at that blue jersey. Producer Ryan McGuffey holding it up, but Luke, nowhere to be found. By the way, Bears Care received a charitable donation on behalf of each runner entered, including Luke.
Play of the day, brought to you by Lexus, pursuing perfection.
Senior PGA Championship opening round. Raymond Floyd, he's still got that touch around the green. Saves par at the 11th, a great chip. He's at 5 over. Next, we head to New York for the first round of the LPGA Corning Classic. Zhong Zhang's second shot at the par 4 10th. What an approach, rolling and into the cup for an eagle. Now that's impressive. That's all the time we have for now. Don't forget White Sox baseball later tonight here on Comcast Sportsnet. The opener of a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays starting at 7 o'clock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
Land Rover Sports Night is driven by the 2008 LR2. Discover the next Land Rover.